Right, because he's unafraid.
Yeah, and that touchdown run against the Steelers was a thing of beauty. I mean, he's fast, he's big, he's difficult to bring down. He's like Roethlisberger, but faster. So he's built like a linebacker. He's quick, and he's got a good arm. But I think that's the biggest threat. And I do think that sometimes they get away from it. And is the one wide receiver enough? I mean, you double team them, and then you kind of throw.
Pretty good tight ends.
No, they're pretty good, but it's maybe not where it needs to be. I think the biggest problem for Buffalo is I'm not in love with their coach, and he's not an offensive guy.
But also in terms of like support, is Diggs better than anybody that Mahomes has?
Well, he's not Kelsey, a different position, but
right.
Kelsey's better.
But I mean, in terms of wide receivers, there's nobody close. The youngster is
probably
good.
Not.
But, I mean, once they took Tyreek Hill away,
he's not bereft of weapons, but
neither is Allen.
Right, but
he has a better running back. He has a tight end who's better than anyone Buffalo has.
Right.
And he has an offensive genius as his head coach.
That's the biggest difference to me, is the coach. We're talking about a Hall of Fame coach. What Andy Reid did in Philly and Kansas City, he's going to waltz into the Hall of Fame. He's one of the best offensive coaches we've seen in recent vintage. You don't think that helps Mahomes?
Of course it does.
And you don't think of, let me ask you this.
You don't think that Mahomes helps Andy? Because before they won a Super Bowl with Mahomes, we were all saying Andy Reid couldn't win the big game.
Yeah, but you know what? No offense to Donovan McNabb, but he was able to get Donovan McNabb in a Super Bowl. Is Donovan McNabb Patrick Mahomes?
No.
If Josh Allen played for Kansas City over the last 10 years, would they have less chances to win a Super Bowl, or would it be the same, or maybe in some cases might be better? I don't know.
Well, I mean, there was a comment made today by a guy that we really like, and he's very good looking too, Sean O'Hara.
Oh, sure.
Who said that he thinks Josh Allen's better than Patrick Mahomes. Now, in all due respect to Sean, he's more than welcome to come on if he wants. I don't get it. I mean, there's nobody better than Patrick Mahomes. There's nobody.
It's a hard argument to say that anyone's better than
It's
Patrick.
hard, but listen, I didn't hear what Sean said. I read the headline, but Sean's a pretty intelligent guy, and he's also not going to say something for shock value. But the coaching matters. Everything's about Mahomes. Look at that game. Now, listen, Allen fumbled, but they were able to get it back. But he did fumble the ball. I mean, it wasn't a perfect game by him, and sometimes Allen can be frustrating because he does throw bad picks and all that at times. But when you watch that game, the Bills' defense wasn't stopping anybody. What did Kansas City punt once? You don't think that puts a lot of pressure on Allen? That playoff game where they were kind of going back and forth, where they changed the rule for overtime in the playoff. I mean, Josh Allen was matching. His defense didn't give him a chance. And then the luck had it that they had the last possession and they lost. So if you want to say Patrick Mahomes is better, I've got no problem with that, Michael. But is it a fair comparison? I probably would take Mahomes over Allen because Allen does have those brain farts at times that I can't really say that Patrick has. But it's not equal when you look at the coaching. And I would think that if you think Andy Reid wouldn't win a championship in Buffalo?
Would you like the Chiefs' chances any less this weekend in Baltimore if Josh Allen was starting?
It's a great question. I just think Mahomes is on a different level. And I love Allen. I would love Allen on my team if I'm the Giants or the Jets.
I love the way Allen runs. I love his toughness.
But you know what? Mahomes pretty tough.
Oh, no, he is.
I mean, that squeaky Kermit voice that makes you think he's not tough.
He got swallowed up by the Bucs in that Super Bowl because he wasn't given a lot of time. There was nothing he can do about that. The offensive line was terrible. But I think sometimes we get caught up in comparing the two athletes and not looking at what's around them. And I think coaching, we could all agree, of the four major sports, coaching is more important in football than it is in anywhere else. He's got a great coach. Andy Reid, and you could say, oh, well, he didn't win in Philly. He went to 4 straight championship games in Philly. Donovan McNabb was a hell of a quarterback, but he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen. And he was able to get a lot out of Philadelphia, and then he goes to Kansas City, has a better quarterback, and now he's winning a bunch of Super Bowls.
He's been to 6 straight championship games.
It's pretty incredible.
When you have this conversation about the quarterbacks that were playing in the tournament last weekend, and you talk about Mahomes and Andy Reid, and you talk about Josh Allen and McDermott, and then you talk about Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh. There's just different levels. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to have a pity party for Josh Allen. And that seems to be the conversation. Why does no one blame Josh Allen and just give him tons of credit? You have to say, I mean, the distance between, there's a little distance between Reid and Harbaugh. Not much. Harbaugh's the man. But you fall off a cliff before McDermott. I would take probably almost every coach left in the play. I would have taken D'Amico Ryans over him. I would have taken LaFleur over McDermott. Like, he's just not a stud coach to me.
And then they had to fire their offensive coordinator during the middle of the season. So they admitted there were coaching problems there. So there's definitely an advantage Mahomes has at coaching. And the talent, we could say, is even or a wash or maybe a little bit better for Kansas City. But I think the coaching is really a big difference.
Over the years, the talent is not a wash.
No.
Kansas City's talent was...
This year it might be, but no, overall, no. No, absolutely.
Well, I mean, last year they didn't have Tyreek Hill, and they still ripped through the playoffs.
They did.
So, Angelo Fico says that Fox Sports does stream on the Fox Sports app. Use the app to stream the game in my son's nursery this weekend. But I don't think that's an app that you could purchase. You know, there's nothing on it. If you have Fox, if you have like on cable, you could download the Fox Sports app. So they're not making money off that like Paramount Plus and like Peacock.
Isn't it crazy that if you were to say, find Fox football on Sunday, I could pull it up in 1 second. And if you said, find FS1, I need to watch a show, and you had a gun to my head, I would just hold my hands up and go, I've had a hell of a run. Take me now.
It is
I know. It's 85 on my system.
God bless you.
I think it's $2.19 on DirecTV.
You still have DirecTV. You just won't let go, will you?
It's close. It's getting close.
Do you still have the satellite? Because now DirecTV is also streaming, isn't it?
Yeah, but I still have.
He's got the dish, baby.
And then I was watching everything in standard on Friday because there was snow on the Bird, and I wasn't going to go up on the roof. Now, there's one thing I will fight you.
Right.
Snow on the Bird sounds so retro. I can't even.
And dirty.
Snow on the Bird.
It does sound like it might be a move, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm with you. I'm against you on the shoveling. I will shovel.
Right. But you're
I'm not going to go. I'm not going to get the big. Now, I'll get on a ladder to put the Christmas decorations up. You know, one of those like 5, 6, 7 step ladder. I'm not getting on one of those extendo ladders and go on the roof of my house. Are you nuts?
You'll go 5, 6, 7? I don't know. Yeah. I don't think I want to go 5, 6, 7.
Now, here,
if I could survive the fall, I'll go as high as that.
How do you know you can? You're an old man.
I'm not. I'm fit.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't break my leg.
I'm
I don't
fit
think.
now too. I feel awful every day.
I don't think I could die falling on grass 6 feet.
Well, how about like the grass is hard because of the ice?
And do you really want broken leg?
No, I don't want a broken leg. But I also got to get I don't want to pay somebody to put the Christmas lights up. Kind of takes the spirit out of Christmas, doesn't it?
Mr. Griswold. Of course you should pay somebody to do it.
You pay someone, Michael?
We don't put. I mean, we put Christmas lights on at the ground level on bushes or whatever. I'm not climbing up and doing anything in the house. I do nothing where I could get hurt.
What about your Christmas tree?
We do it ourselves.
How high is it?
7 feet.
So you get on a little step stool.
I can reach 7 feet up to put the star on.
Yeah, I can put the star
sorry, Mr. Height Shamer. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was a little.
But that wasn't meant that way.
I can.
But you don't have a tree. I wasn't shaming you.
I still feel shamed.
But I could go up
I mean,
one
you
of
can
those.
light the menorah, right?
Sure.
I could go up one because since I kicked it old school with the clothing stores with Caldor, I'll bring out like one of those channel ladders, you know, where you open it up,
right,
and you go up like 5, 6 steps. So you're probably like 5 feet up,
which is interesting because I went and bought a $2,000 Chanel ladder.
A Chanel, yeah.
Oh,
right.
But I'm not. You think I'm going to die falling on the grass?
Well, but
you could die anywhere.
There's a chance you could.
Well, I don't.
So why don't you eliminate that chance?
But I don't think
you can die shoveling, but you don't care.
Don't care. I'm still going to climb. I'm going to do what I can within my means.
God forbid.
I'm not going to go on the roof.
This is really God forbid.
What was that, Bo Diaz that fell off the roof putting like the satellite,
yeah,
the Indian catcher?
But I'm not rooting to be right on this. If you're shoveling and you clutch your chest and you're having a heart attack and it's not an automatic dead before it hits the ground, are you saying to yourself, what did I do?
Why is it okay for me to go to kickboxing?
Right.
And
because there are people there. If you fell down shoveling, Nancy wouldn't even notice you're gone for 3 hours. You'd die of hypothermia before the heart attack.
But I'm lifting weights during kickboxing.
But I'm sure they have like a machine that could shock you.
You probably have a defibrillator. Yes. You're right.
In case.
But Carlos is always out there smoking a butt. Somebody would notice me on the. What do you think?
But
I live in the hinterlands?
And your white beard, you'll sink into the snow. No one will ever see.
So Don, as you know, I just finished 6 Feet Under. What Michael's describing is you would be one of the opening scenes of 6 Feet Under. You know,
Right.
you go out, you start shoveling, you wonder, where's this going? Takes a few big shovels, all of a sudden starts looking around a little woozy, face down. Next scene, Carlos smoking his butt, looks over, runs over, camera pulls it on Don's dead face. It goes to white, and it says Don LaGreca.
What was the worst opening death to you? There was a bunch of very creative ones, but there was one that freaked me out more than any of them.
Was it the airplane?
No.
Where the thing fought with the...
No, because it could happen at any moment. 'Cause
Okay.
To Michael's point about nobody being around, the woman that choked to death in her kitchen.
Oh, yeah. Awful.
She's by herself, so she starts choking to death and she starts freaking out and she dies. Well, so should I stop eating if no one's home? I mean, that could happen, right? Choke on my sesame chicken, nobody's home. Should I not eat then and wait for everybody to come home? Now, did you eat? No, Nancy, I didn't eat because I could have choked to death.
Do you guys remember, like a year or two ago, I had an endoscopy because I was having this sensation every once in a while. I'd eat certain food.
I remember that.
And I'd have this weird sensation where I couldn't get the food down my throat.
Yep.
Now, granted, when I talked to my doctor about it, he was like, you're not choking. You can actually still breathe through that. It just feels very panicky, like you are choking. But it was a terrifying feeling. Since then, I've gotten on some pills, and I do all right. How about this unfortunate thing I just read on Twitter?
What's that?
Very unfortunate. A guy named S.C. McKenna wrote, can somebody please buy Don LaGreca some decent clothes?
Oh, my.
Rosenberg and Kay always looking so sartorially sharp. Don looks like a homeless person.
What's the matter with my shirt?
Paging Mrs. LaGreca.
What's the matter with this shirt? I'm asking you. This was.
I have no problem with that shirt.
I take no issue with it. This is
And yesterday that was a nice sweater.
this is S.C. McKenna.
EMA.
All right, here we found Sean O'Hara, what he said on the NFL
I
Network.
thought he was here.
This is about Allen over
He's
Mahomes.
knocking on the door.
I think Mahomes has the better team. That's why. But pure quarterback play, I think Josh Allen is better.
No, you're not going to get me going viral.
You can't argue that the Chiefs have a better defense right now.
I mean, they do have a better defense.
Better tight end, better running back, better offensive line. So, look, this is not a disrespect on Mahomes. Look, I mean, if Josh Allen, it's 1A and 1B right there. Like I said, you can, alternate them week to week. But Chiefs have the better team. Mahomes has the better team. Josh Allen, he's still looking for some help. Can I get somebody to catch the ball? Can I get somebody to make the field goal?
But he does have Stephon Diggs.
No, but that's one guy.
But that's a great wide receiver.
But Kelsey's a Hall of Famer, maybe the greatest tight end of
Stephon
all
Diggs
time.
might end up being a Hall of Famer.
Well, Steph, don't forget how horrifying Steph's drop was. I'm sorry. He's a Maryland guy. I hate to say it. But that drop was brutal. Everyone was complaining about Josh's throw where he shorted the receiver in the end zone. But I thought the Steph drop was much more egregious.
But he shorted it because he was hit. That's the other thing, these lines. I mean, can we go to, is there some grade, like who's got a better offensive line? It feels like Kansas City does.
But you know what else it is? I think people have a special affinity for Josh because of the way he plays the game and the way he throws a ball. So, like, if you were to ask me to choose between those three who are the three best quarterbacks left, all due respect to Jordan Love, et cetera, and the great Brock Purdy, but
And Jared Goff.
and Jared Goff, all due respect. But if you were to look at Lamar, Patrick, and Josh, the combination and physical attributes of Josh Allen, if you've been watching football forever, you see it and go, that's a quarterback. He's gigantic. He has a huge arm, a perfect motion. He can run. He can absorb hits. To Don's point, the only thing he does is he makes the occasional mistake that drives you nuts.
I love you all, but I mean, I wouldn't blink twice. It'd be Mahomes every day over Lamar, over Josh, over Joe Burrow. It would be Mahomes. I mean, he sidearm. He could throw with his left arm. He runs when he has to. He's phenomenal. How good he is.
Listen, I'm never going to argue with that. I'm just saying, in all of the other examples that you gave, none of them got to be a part of the Chiefs. The Chiefs have been insane the last 6 years.
That begs the question: the chicken or the egg? Are they the Chiefs without Patrick Mahomes? They weren't with Alex Smith.
No.
They were close.
But they weren't the Chiefs,
But
right?
they were good.
But all three of the guys we're talking about are much better than Alex Smith. We're at a full tier up.
But Alex Smith did go to a championship game in San Francisco. I mean, he's not nobody.
No,
he's not
good.
an elite quarterback, but he's good.
He was game manager plus.
You know, but again, it's the coach. It's not even close. The two coaches aren't even close. Can we agree on that?
You don't have to talk to me about it.
So you don't think the quarterback benefits from having Andy Reid?
But I will say this. I agree with Michael in the sense that, all due respect, Sean O'Hara's argument is nonsense. You can't, with conviction, tell me that anyone's better than Mahomes.
No.
It's on you to prove otherwise, and you can't.
You can't just say the team's better.
It's not enough. You have to say, until proven otherwise, until he's knocked off, Mahomes is the guy. I'm sorry. Even though, like, there are things I enjoy about Lamar's game more than Mahomes, and there are things I enjoy about Josh's game. Overall, Mahomes is the man until proven otherwise.
I love watching Mahomes play.
How can you not?
Love him.
I mean, you can. I love watching Josh Allen play too, because there's some runs where, like, Mike, that run against the Steelers was fantastic, right?
Yeah, no.
It was terrific.
But
And you could get into other things too. That even though both teams play in cold weather cities, with Mahomes playing in the West, he gets to play in a lot more atmosphere as far as like the domes and the warmer weather, where Josh Allen, because he's in the AFC East, he's got to play outdoors in cold weather a lot more. And there's a lot of things that I think balance it out. I'm with you, Michael. I take Mahomes, but I think what makes it a slam dunk is the team that he plays for.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. How do you not take the Chiefs at this moment, though, when looking at this game? At 3.5. That feels like a big line to me against a team that does nothing but win in the playoffs.
All right, let's take some phone calls in just a moment, so stick around here on the show. First off, this new year, it's time to find...
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
I have to find a babysitter.
I have a lot of questions.
When can they start?
Today? Now? Tomorrow?
How about Saturday and Sunday? I need any kind of day.
My wife and I haven't been out in a year.
We need a date night. No offense. Help!
Can I check reviews?
Are they background checked?
Do I have to go pick them up?
Can they handle all this?
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
You don't have to leave your living room to play the lottery. Just use the Jackpocket app.
Hot! Okay, everyone, please silence your phones.
I won. I won! I won! I never win anything, and I won today! We won! Yes! Dollar bills, y'all, I'm out!
To win anytime, anywhere, download the Jackpocket app, officially licensed lottery courier service.
See everything your restaurant can do with tools from Square. Get a POS that connects to a KDS so you can handle orders ASAP. Reach more customers with online ordering and QR codes. Use pocket-sized hardware so you can turn tables faster. And get one account for everything so you can take care of it all and take it easy too. Get your all-in-one restaurant system and sign up at square.com today.
Custom Ink helps us celebrate and drive our students' achievements with custom gear. They love Custom Ink's different styles and designs. We love how Custom Ink makes the process simple with their easy-to-use design lab, expert artists ready to help, and unbeatable customer service. Custom Ink allows our kids to show everyone their accomplishments and the pride they have in our school. When we place an order, I know they got our back, so we can focus on the kids.
Custom Ink has hundreds of products to help you feel connected. Upload your logo or start your design today at customink.com.
So a 2-2 tie. There's a high fly ball deep to right. Crazy, just crazy.
Bayer Aspirin, official sponsor of fans' hearts.
Just hop on the bike, man.
Oh, come on, man. You got to pay your bills.
You don't have to worry about anything when you're protected by America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
Well, you definitely do. Those things aren't related, so...
Ah, yee! Oh, that is a vibrating pain.
Dive into the world of Win Reality. Experience unlimited at-bats from more than 600 pitchers. training that simulates all game situations, and head-to-head action with family and friends. Master your timing, pitch recognition, and hitting mechanics with expert coaching.
Let's see the progress.
So when your moment comes, you'll be ready. Win reality. Baseball uncaged.
Is that better?
The finely crafted Volkswagen Taos. It's built just right. Visit your Volkswagen dealer today and lease the 2024 Taos S4 Motion for just $279 a month. Limited inventory available.
If you watch Yes Network on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download the app to stream the Nets and experience the game in a whole new way. With a live stat overlay to track your favorite players. Free-to-play gaming with big cash prizes, and earn and redeem rewards for gift cards and gear. So remember, if you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download now.
Sometimes I dream about you falling through the sky. Can hardly believe my own eyes.
Disasters don't take a break for the holidays. With your help, neither does the Red Cross.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Having a good time here on a, what is today? Is today Tuesday? Yeah, it's
All
Tuesday.
day. Sure it is.
All day. Let's take some phone calls. People want to talk. Rifle through some of these.
to 'em, then.
Timmy in Long Island. Tim, what's up?
Yeah, so I called in over the summer, and I suggested the Rangers should hire Patrick Waugh. And, Don, you kind of killed me for it. I believe your exact words were, Patrick Waugh, are you kidding me? So I'm listening to the replay of yesterday's show this morning, and you didn't really give an opinion on the Islanders getting him. And I want to know, do you feel the same way still? And if you do, why didn't you kill Lou like you killed me?
Fair point.
Because they're two different teams. I mean, I think the Rangers feel like they can win a Stanley Cup, and I don't know if you want to go get Patrick Waugh, who's never won a Stanley Cup as a coach, great player, no question. But the Islanders, they're in a malaise. They're not even playing well defensively.
Well, so are the Rangers.
Yeah, but the Rangers are in first place. I mean,
not for long.
Well, not for long, but they're still in first place. I think there's some problems, but Peter Laviolette, he's won a Stanley Cup. He's been to a bunch of Stanley Cup finals. I like him as a coach. I think the Rangers are going to be okay. Whether they win a cup or not is another question, but this was a great move for the Islanders because they were stale. They're not playing well defensively. They got a minus 20 goal differential. They don't really have anything going. This can have a guy that comes in, has the players, gets the players accountable. It's a move for a team that looked like they were fading and not going to make the playoffs, as opposed to a Ranger team that was having problems winning in the postseason, getting bounced in the first round. And Peter Laviolette has worked. They've got 60 points in their first place, and the Islanders are really struggling. So
they're about to fall out, though.
Fall out of the playoffs?
They're out of first place for sure.
All right, but they're not in the threat of missing the playoffs. The Islanders were in the threat of missing the playoffs. So it's two different situations.
Should the Rangers start making
Rangers need to make a deal.
Should they jumble defensive
Well, here's the problem. We keep talking about coaching changes. Now you got to wonder, are they good enough to win a Stanley Cup? They need a right winger. They need another defenseman. They need to make a deal. All right? Because they're not getting enough scoring. It can't be the same five guys every night scoring for them. But, they still have a decent system. They've got a great goaltender like the Islanders do, but they're better offensively overall than the Islanders, who, like I said, have a minus 20 goal differential. They gave up 42 shots the other day. I mean, so even their defensive structure was falling apart under Lane Lambert. So it's not a question of me not liking Patrick Waugh. I didn't think it was a fit for the Rangers. That's why I didn't think it was going to happen. But I think it's a good fit for the Islanders.
Tim, can I ask you something between us?
Go ahead.
It bothered you what Don said, didn't it? It still stings.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I could hear it.
I
could hear it in your voice. And I apologize for him.
Oh, well, Larry Brooks was saying.
You know what? I felt that Don he punched down to me, but he wouldn't go after Lou.
Because you're not acknowledging the fact that it's a different team. It's a different set of circumstances.
Okay, I accept that.
And also, Larry Brooks thought that the Rangers should go after Patrick Waugh. So it's not a unique thought. He wrote about it, and he tweeted out how he had written about that. But, Michael, I looked at the offseason. Could the Rangers have taken a chance with a team that they felt was ready to win a Stanley Cup and replaced Gerard Gallant with somebody that was a neophyte as a head coach in the NHL? He spent 3 seasons in Colorado and had not won a cup there. Not even really challenged for a cup there. Didn't they have to get somebody like Peter Laviolette who had a resume of winning? Could they afford to take on a chance with Patrick Waugh? I think the Islanders could, because their situation is different. They're out of the playoffs. They were stale. This is a guy that's going to bring an infusion of excitement around the team, hold players accountable, and maybe get them into the playoffs. The Rangers were in an entirely different situation during the offseason.
Is it illuminating to you how your words hurt, though? I mean,
I don't care because I gave my opinion. I'm sorry if my opinion hurt his feelings.
You hurt him.
Good. He deserved it because it's sports radio. Am I supposed to be kind to everybody? He asked for my opinion. I didn't agree with it.
Okay, but
what are we supposed to sit here? It's like, am I supposed to pet him like he's a rabbit? No, it's big boys. It's New York. All right.
It's not North Dakota.
All right. Get some cubes. Sit down and let's talk. I'm sorry. I give my opinion. If you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. If I hurt his feelings, then maybe go call another show, buddy.
I'm just saying.
No.
Is it illuminating to you that your words have such weight?
I would hope they have weight. He asked me, so obviously he cared about my opinion.
Yeah, but Tim seemed like a good guy.
No, I didn't say he was a bad guy. I'm just saying, listen, we throw fastballs here. So Randy Johnson was supposed to dial it down because he was striking guys out and hurting their feelings, striking them out? No, he threw faster. He threw harder. He threw more inside.
Can you believe this?
No, when his favorite quote is so. It would be on his tombstone.
What?
I do it again because he doesn't back off. He would do everything.
Oh,
again.
You know what? That would be beautiful. Don,
what a great tombstone!
Don, Don, what year were you born?
1968.
So
1968,
say Don LaGreca,
2029.
No.
Why would he put a number? Why would he put a number? Now.
2069. Here lies Don LaGreca.
2069.
Give me something, because then he could be right. I hope he's right, because I know quietly.
I'm not rooting.
If God forbid I die in 2029, you guys are going to be at my wake, gathered around the casket, and Michael's going to go. No, I did nail the date.
Well, can I tell you one thing to alleviate any fear by you? I will be long gone before either of you.
29. Well, not if it's in 29.
No, there's a chance
that you could be gone in 27.
Long gone.
5 years. So you're dead next year.
No,
long
I'm
gone
not
is
saying
like more
29
than
was
4.
just a joke.
Yeah,
but I will go before you.
The math works because you're older than me.
Right.
Although that doesn't always be the case. But I'm just saying, why would you put a year on somebody's death when you sit 5 feet away?
Because I'm an awful person.
And you know he would do that at the wake.
How old are you, Don?
He'll be 56 on February 13th.
Is that 56?
Yeah.
So we're hoping for minimum another 30. That gets us up to 55.
He has me dying depending 54. On when in 69 and 29. He has me dying at 61. And now that's going to hang like an albatross around my neck.
Why did you do it? Because now you're making it even.
You said it,
Mrs. LaGreca. I'm just kidding.
He exaggerated it because he's a human being.
But what'd you say? 2069?
Yeah,
you know what date this is?
I'm giving him 100.
You're giving him 100.
But it doesn't matter. That's probably wrong. But wouldn't you want to err on the side of being wrong in that direction?
What about Charles Osgood?
I know, 91.
91.
Yeah, Fordham guy.
Why can't Don get 100?
No, what was the quote from Talladega Nights? When he was just like, "Don't put that evil on me."
Yeah, Ricky Bobby.
What are you doing?
By the way, when I read that Charles Osgood died at 91, I thought it was the Red Wings goaltender. 91 years old.
With Chris out? You confused him with Chris out.
Let's go to Frank in New Jersey. Frank?
Wow.
How you doing, guys?
Hey,
Great
Frank.
talking to you guys.
What's going on?
A couple of things. I want to talk about the wrestling with Peter, but I love Kansas City's chances this weekend. I think Mahomes is the better of the quarterbacks, but I think it's going to be a great game.
I hope it is. I think it's going to be a good game.
I'll tell you what, though, man, that Chiefs defense better be ready for the zone Lamar's in right now.
You give me Spagnuolo. He'll figure something out.
Lamar ran for, 100 last week, 2 TDs?
I do like Spagnuolo possibly get another ring. I always liked him.
That'll be 4.
He's got enough.
Or 3. 3.
Don, weren't you yesterday just say that we had enough?
But that's the one positive if they're going to win.
All right, Frank, what was your WWE question to Peter?
Yes, can't wait.
Peter, the news, I'm sure you know of it. You're a commentator for them. What did you think of the news of the Netflix merger with the WWE? 10 years for $5 billion. Incredible. And do you think by going to the move on basically a pay station, do you think you're going to see more risque storylines coming in, a little bit more blood and guts?
No.
Oh, nice.
No, I don't. No, I don't. You know why? Because, frankly, this is what I was thinking about. I think, and thank you for the call, I think it's huge news, obviously, not just for WWE fans, not just for wrestling fans, but for just people who pay attention to entertainment and the way that entertainment is consumed. But I was thinking about this earlier today, guys. I don't know that I'm exaggerating anymore when I say that I know more people who have Netflix than cable. So the idea now that you would feel like looser or anything, I think is sort of a crazy concept.
And you can curse on cable, right?
On USA?
Yeah.
They want it to be risque on USA. They could. They don't do it because they want eyeballs. They want everyone to watch.
But on Netflix, you think they will actually sever a limb for a storyline?
Right, because why not?
Yeah.
So I looked it up earlier. Do you know how many Netflix subscribers there are?
100 million.
Done?
No, probably more than that, 150 million.
247 million.
I don't know anybody who doesn't have it.
That's what I'm saying. It
was the first one I got. Like with my old iPad. Like that's the first thing you would download.
I think it will. I think this will. I think they will have more. We will have more people watching WWE as a result of it being on Netflix than on cable. Think about it like this: on a Monday night, when everyone in the world fires up their Netflix to see what's going on, and you have front and center WWE is live right now. Do you know the amount of random lapsed fans that's going to grab who haven't thought about watching it? Who'll go, oh, hey, let me see what's on Netflix.
Because it's interesting. 240 million subscribers. I wouldn't be surprised if 100 million of them have had it dormant and haven't touched it in like months.
That's a fair point too.
Now, will you have to up your your suit game now that you're on Netflix?
Well, I'm not going to be on Netflix as of now unless there's a change to my.
Well, if they're smart, they just expand your role.
Well, I would love that. I'd love to spend some time on the flicks.
Yeah.
When you do this, Michael, it doesn't work out well. Lay out.
Yeah, you know what? It's great. The last time you tried this, it was a huge.
I'm only trying to help my guys.
I know, but you know what?
I do it again.
History has taught us anything.
I've got CAA on board. The CAA is on top of it.
Right.
We're going to be just fine. We're going to be just fine.
Sometimes agents are dumb.
I know, but the last time, I just remember the last time, and it didn't play great.
You know what? The 2 deals I have now, they were K things.
Not
I
you.
did great.
We're not talking about you.
Yeah.
Okay. We know that when you're rooting for you,
when you
everything's
advocate
fine.
for others, it doesn't work out quite.
But
as well.
I only meant the best.
No, I never said you didn't.
You absolutely meant the best, but the result.
Let's go to Jim in New Jersey. Jim Joe.
Jim.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
What's up?
I got a fast question for you. First time, long time. This is a hypothetical.
Okay.
I've been to the last 38 Super Bowls. I've been to 35.
Okay.
All right. So my question is, when you guys were talking about the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs game, 50 million people watching.
Right.
How many of them are Swifties? Tuning in to the NFL now.
5,
and gambling, of course, it
6.
is.
Wait. When you say how many are Swifties, do you mean
Swifties that had no interest in football?
Swifties who tuned in because of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce?
Correct.
Oh,
like you see the guy rip the shirt off and all the craziness.
You mean? I would say it can't be more than 1 million or 2 of that 50.
If that.
If that. It could be 500.
I mean, maybe over the course of the season, Jim, the Swift Travis Kelce narrative has brought in people into the tent that have now gotten interested in football. Maybe. I don't know if we could put a number on it. I just don't know.
It's not significant enough, though. I'm telling you.
I think it got 50 million because you know what? It was a great game.
Yeah, and it's
and it wasn't a turnoff game. You stayed with it the whole time.
right.
Yeah, there was
the
no reason
audience,
to get
the
off it,
audience
yeah.
is going to grow as the day goes on, and like you're talking about the two sexiest teams playing a competitive game in the playoffs. Sunday night, it starts in that sweet spot too, where it's over by 10 o'clock. You don't have an 11:45 end. It was perfect.
How about this out of the mouths of babes? So we're watching the football games, and Charlie just says to me, matter-of-factly, you know what? My winter break starts on February 10th. I said, yeah. He said, let's go to Vegas and go to the Super Bowl. I said, no, that's not the way it works. I can't go to the Super Bowl. I can't get 2 tickets to the Super Bowl. I'm not able to.
You might.
Yeah, sure you can.
Well, not for $5,000 a piece.
Well, why not? But you work hard. You've got money.
Well,
just two Gucci.
I'd much rather spend it on a Gucci sweatshirt.
I was about just 2 Gucci sweatshirts.
Yeah.
So what did you say to him? You
I said, no, we'll watch it on TV.
You said, unfortunately, you said, no, your dad's too cheap. You can't go.
No. I mean, really, what's the likelihood? If it's the Chiefs against the 49ers, you really think you're going to be able to get a ticket? Now, maybe I could beg somebody at ESPN.
Mr. Rucco.
Well, he doesn't work at the NFL anymore.
Is that true?
Yeah, he retired.
He knows people.
But he knows people.
But he retired.
Retired is working
him
there
once
at Jays.
before.
What about Rick Goodell?
Yeah, well, you owe him a favor.
Who?
Mr. Rucco. Because he
I think I'll take care
did
of
us a solid. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah.
What about Rick Goodell?
Rick Goodell? Who's Rick Goodell?
Roger's brother. You know Rick. You just give him a call. Now, here's what you should have told Charlie.
You don't think the Jets get tickets? We got a nice relationship with the Jets. Clock
Do we
ticks,
really?
Stop, First, Don, stop yourself, please. But well, how about this though? I'd rather you go. Why do you want to go, Charlie? And explain to him that the juice is not worth the squeeze.
It might be to a kid to see the spectacle of the Super Bowl. I've been to Super Bowls. It's okay. I'd much rather watch it on TV.
Yeah,
than in person. We were there for the Tyree catch.
But it was nice to say that I've gone to a Super Bowl.
It's nice to say, but isn't it better to watch it on TV?
No question, but I went to 2 of the greatest Super Bowls ever played.
Yeah.
I was in the building for Rams-Patriots and Giants-Patriots. But if I never go again, I'm good. But if Marco wanted to go, I'd do everything as a father I could to get him. I wouldn't just say no.
Well,
what's the matter with you?
Kids have to learn hard truths.
Yeah, and hold on. What age would you?
Well, Charlie's 8. I think he'll remember
Charlie's
the experience.
9.
Well, he'll remember the experience.
My kid.
But hold on, real quick. Who's Charlie's favorite team?
He likes the Giants and the Jets.
But he's a fraud, is what you're saying.
Well, no, I mean, it's like he likes he likes individual players.
Right, so he's a fraud.
You got to
he likes the good players who win games.
I say you
that's
got to
what kids
declare. I declared at 8 or 9. I'll give it to 15. That's my arbitrary number that you got to declare.
15?
You got to declare by 15.
Oh my God! By 15, I'd be locked in for years.
But it's
more important things you have to declare by 15.
Yeah, but guess what?
Team you like.
Well,
you can't,
if you're any example, you hadn't declared for another 5 years.
He's a K. He can multitask.
He could.
What are you talking about anyway?
He's talking about women.
See,
and I'm saying
I wasn't
didn't
thinking
go on a
that.
date. Michael didn't even go on a date till
That's
he got
what
to
I
college.
would have thought. But
no, that's not true.
See, I think he was talking about a political leaning.
No.
Oh, really?
At 15, you really have to declare?
Well, you're 3 years from voting. You got to start doing the work.
You know, it's interesting. On every
You didn't even know like time change until you were 15.
No. So why do you got to? If you got to exaggerate, you have no point. I said I was 9.
For the record, on every one of these subjects, I'd already declared by 15.
Really?
Fully declared.
So you were a card-carrying McGovern at 15.
Yep.
Interesting.
Sure I was.
How'd that work out for you?
Well, he considering at that point he had to run for office in 23 years.
But it's still, you know what? It stung your mom and dad. It stays with them to this day.
It did. It hovers.
I mean, think about all the time and effort and work time they put into that.
Well, they made a lot of good friends, though.
Yeah, but they supported a guy who won one state.
It wasn't about that.
What was it about?
What they believed in.
But he lost. He got resounding.
And by the way, guys, as we improve as a show, when this conversation comes up, you have to play McGovern. What is the line?
For president.
For the
McGovern, Democrat for the people.
Yeah, where's McGovern, Democrat for the people?
Yeah, they're asleep at the switch. They really
This
are.
is so important. When you hear the
Remember we got Donald Trump on once. We don't get those guys.
The second you hear the words McGovern come up, that drop needs to be ready at all times.
Yeah, I agree. But it's not, is it?
What's our best shot at getting a former president as a guest?
McGovern.
Bush.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you don't think Dukakis would pick up?
He's not a former president. Did I miss something?
Candidate. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Candidate.
John Kerry.
McGovern wasn't president.
John Kerry and I could be on together, and they're two of the longest faces ever on TV.
Oh, my God, it's a great point.
Really? Why the long face?
How old is Kerry these days?
He's upper 70s, like all politicians.
Yeah, well, some are
in their 80s. A DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the
You don't have to leave your living room to play the lottery. Just use the Jackpocket app.
Hot! Okay, everyone, please silence your phones.
I won. I won! I won! I never win anything, and I won today! We won! Yes! Dollar bills, y'all, I'm out!
To win anytime, anywhere, download the Jackpocket app, officially licensed lottery courier service.
There's an easier way. With Thumbtack. Download the app today and care for your home from top to bottom.
At Care.com, you can find all the help you need. You can find babysitters. And you can find nannies. You can find dog walkers who'll step in as your best friend's new best friend. And housekeepers who can get your floors looking great. At least for a little bit. You can find companions and helpers and caregivers. But most importantly, you can find out what it's like to not have to do it all on your own. Find all the care you need at Care.com.
I needed something in the shop, comfortable. I wear Brunt boots, as you see, got them on my feet right now. Keeps you warm, it keeps you dry, triple layered comfort.
Comfortable in the morning, comfortable in the afternoon. These feel kind of like sneakers.
They're waterproof, durable. Been wearing them for over a year now. They're absolutely amazing.
This is the only shoe I wear in here now. Brown boots are cool.
Wearing Brunt boots, my feet, my back, and my legs don't hurt at the end of the day.
Go online and try any of our gear on the job for 30 days, risk-free.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat, sourced from trusted partners, with free shipping, always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
See everything your store can do with tools from Square. Your inventory automatically restocks, so you never run low. Your online store stays open 24/7, so you're always ready to sell. Your payments are processed in seconds, so customers can breeze through checkout. And with one account to manage it all, you've got more time for taking time out. Get your all-in-one retail system by signing up at square.com today.
So a 2-2 tie. There's a high fly ball deep to right. Crazy, just crazy.
Bayer Aspirin, official sponsor of Fans' Hearts.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that's made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Now, returning lessees can get the Ford F-150 for $299 a month for 24 months, only at your local Ford stores.
The Community Food Bank of New Jersey is the state's largest anti-hunger organization. We work with our 800-plus community partners to supply them with the fresh food and resources they need to feed our hungry neighbors. We provide nutrition. We provide support. We provide opportunity. We can't do it without you. Go to cfbnj.org to join us today. That's cfbnj.org.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael K. Show. Blake Snell's free agency hasn't exactly been the bidding war his camp probably would have liked. The Yankees have been the only team to offer him a deal. And now, with spring training 23 days away, Snell and also Jordan Montgomery, the two biggest starting pitchers on the market, still don't have a camp to report to. So what is going to transpire? Where will these top-shelf lefties end up? These questions and more will be posed on a brand new edition of Yankees Hot Stove tonight, immediately following the Michael K. Show, right here on Yes. Bob Lorenz, Jack Curry, and Jen Flaherty have you covered. Coverage starts at 6:30 on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Yes app.
ESPN New York presents An Evening with Garrett Wilson.
Oh, sure.
An intimate event.
Oh, hello.
In the Big Apple with the Jet star wide receiver. For your chance to score passes to this exclusive event, including food and beverage, go to ESPNNewYork.com or find the contest page on the ESPN New York app and submit your entry. It's An Evening with Garrett Wilson.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Brought to you by Corona and Santon Auto Mall.
That's
hey, I'm
cool,
wondering what
man.
Yankee fans think. I don't know if you saw this news, Peter.
Okay.
The Yankees are going back to the old road uniforms.
The grays with the block?
It's just it's not doesn't have the white outline and doesn't have the white outline and blue, red, and the white, blue, and white outline on the sleeve. It's now just New York block and blue against like a flannel gray.
And wait, hold on real quick. And what has it been recently?
I'll describe the uniform.
Okay.
It's gray, New York in print across chest, outlined in white, and then another small layer of blue. And then on the sleeves, it's a blue stripe, a white stripe, and a blue stripe. Now, it's pre-1974 on road uniforms. They're just going to go completely gray, New York and block print. You can look at a picture of Mickey Mantle. That's what he wore, and no trimming on the arm. It's really sharp.
The no trim on the arm.
Yeah, pretty sharp.
Is it better, though?
Well, what's better? You know what I mean, Peter? Everyone's taste is everyone's taste.
I need to see it. I mean, I've seen it, but I need to see, like, alongside each other, the difference.
I would love for, you know what I want them to do?
Anthony just sent it to you in the group text.
You know what I want them to do?
What's that?
Throw the names on the gray roads.
Why?
No.
I like it. I like what the Red Sox do. I think it's nice.
Well, I guess that's one of the good things the Red Sox do because there's not much else.
Oh, no, I just think it's neat.
Ask Red Sox fans how they feel about the Red Sox right now. Go.
But that has nothing to do with what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm just telling you, I haven't been doing any good things.
This doesn't look any different to me, really.
It doesn't look different. What are you crazy?
Am I crazy?
I can't get it to work. No.
Right there, here.
It's very similar to me.
It's not. It's similar, but it's more old school.
But I don't know why getting rid of the white background would make it better. Other than
It's
the fact
more
it'll look
old school. Yeah,
Right.
it looks like what DiMaggio wore and what Mantle wore. I don't understand.
I need to
you
see
people.
it.
Although I will tell you this, pre-1970s, where they did not have that Nike swoosh on the uniform, then.
No.
So it's fraudulent.
Or the advertisement that they'll have.
Yeah, what about the advertisement that we're going to have as well?
Star Insurance.
I love a Star Insurance.
Let's go back to the phones. 1-800-919-3776. We'll go to James in, I think, Atlantic Highlands. What's up, James?
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
So I was scrolling on social media, and I saw a stat about how Kelsey and Mahomes passed Brady and Gronk on, like, all-time postseason touchdowns for QB and tight end.
Yep.
And I just wanted to get your guys' thought because, obviously it could be different because, I'm 16 and, could be an 8 sim. But honestly, I think, Brady and Gronk, like, it doesn't get better than them. It's recently circled the debate, and honestly, I just think, Brady and Gronk, no one will ever do what they, like, if you just pure watch them, they were the best. I think just to go out
Well,
there.
I'll tell you what, James. I essentially agree with you how great they were, but you can't dismiss Kelsey and Mahomes. They now have more touchdowns in the playoffs than Brady and Gronk did. And I think that the Patriots almost accentuated the importance of tight ends when they had the two tight ends, Aaron Hernandez and Gronk. But, Kelsey's a Hall of Famer, just like Gronk.
I mean, but the numbers are a little bit skewed just because of the fact that I think Brady probably used a lot more of his weapons because you had Edelman there as well, and he was also...
Edelman?
What did I say?
You said Edelman.
Yeah,
His name's Edelman.
Edelman. Well, listen, he's retired. But you know what I'm talking about.
Although that Sound of Music? Edelman.
Although, let me say this. He never, just real quick, Tom Brady never had a receiver, except, please remove the 1 year of Randy Moss, where they didn't win.
Right.
Besides that 1 year, he never had a receiver as good as Tyreek Hill. Never.
No.
Not even close.
But Gronk was also banged up. Remember the Super Bowl, the second Super Bowl the Giants won against the Patriots, Gronk was like on one leg.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad at that take. If you still think Brady and Gronk are better, stats may say something different, but...
Wow, that's it. You know what, though? What about, let's remove the quarterback part of the conversation. Just Gronk versus Kelsey. Gronk, in case you're wondering right now, sits at 9,200 yards and 92 touchdowns. Played 143 games. Trying to see his best yardage season. He had 4 seasons where he eclipsed 1,000 yards. Now, you could argue, though, that even in just the last few years, post-Gronk, the league has changed. And that he's playing, I mean, dude, Kelsey has been over 1,000 yards every year since 2016 until this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight seasons.
And what's his total
over
yardage?
1,000
Is
yards.
it over 10,000?
He is at 11,328 yards and 74 touchdowns. So less touchdowns, more yards, similar game total.
And, I mean, I don't want to bring it down to its basic form, but Gronk never dated, the most famous female entertainer in the world.
Give it to Kelsey. He wins.
He wins.
But both were media guys making the round.
He didn't date Travis.
Can I just say, I'm going to say,
but that's what's gotten Kelsey. Gronk was able to get to a level. Gronk was able to get to a level by himself. Kelsey surpassed Gronk because of Tay-Tay.
I don't know about that.
You mean from a Q score situation? Yes. Perhaps. But can I be honest, though?
Gronk was spiking pucks. He was doing everything.
If Kelsey ends up choosing to do TV, he will be so much better than Gronk.
Yes.
Gronk is about as unnecessary a seat as they have on TV. Can we just, am I mean? I'm a bad guy?
Yeah, both of those, yes.
He's rich, he's nice, he's fun. He does not offer anything to that. I don't know what.
He's more of the goofy edge of the Fox show.
But he doesn't even do that anymore. Now he's just kind of like a guy who's up there talking football. Like, did we need Gronk? Did we?
We'll answer that question when we get back.
Okay.
Listeners, it's Michael K.
See everything your restaurant can do with tools from Square. Get a POS that connects to a KDS so you can handle orders ASAP. Reach more customers with online ordering and QR codes. Use pocket-sized hardware so you can turn tables faster. And get one account for everything so you can take care of it all and take it easy, too. Get your all-in-one restaurant system and sign up at square.com today.
So, you need a suit, a tux even? Maybe you got invited to a fancy party, or you're someone's +1, and the last time you resorted to a warehouse, you didn't like the way you looked. This time, get a better suit from the Black Tux, and we'll deliver it with time to spare. Try it on. If the fit isn't right, we'll replace it right away, for free. And on the big day, you'll look as great as you feel. With the Black Tux, it's easy to look your best for every occasion. TheBlackTux.com. Formal wear for the moment.
I have to find a babysitter.
I have a lot of questions.
When can they start? Today? Now? Tomorrow? How about Saturday and Sunday? I need any kind of day.
My wife and I haven't been out in a year.
We need a date night. No offense. Help!
Can I check reviews?
Are they background checked?
Do I have to go pick them up?
Can they handle all this?
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
The next Mega Millions drawing is presented by Jackpocket.
Jackpocket lets you order official state lottery tickets right on your phone. Just pick your numbers and place your ticket order. See a scan of your ticket right in the app. And get your winnings instantly. Go to jackpocket.com to get the app and get your first ticket free. Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Win big while streaming the Nets with Pick and Play on the Yes app. Make your picks before tip-off and win up to $10,000. What a move! Yes, Pick and Play. It's the game within the game, only on the Yes app.
So a 2-2 tie. There's a high fly ball deep to right. Crazy, just crazy.
Bayer Aspirin, official sponsor of fans' hearts.
Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org.
The Community Food Bank of New Jersey is the state's largest anti-hunger organization. We provide nutrition. We provide support. We provide opportunity. We can't do it without you. Go to cfbnj.org to join us today.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
We all smoked in those days. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Big day in the NBA as the Bucks fired a first-year coach, Adrian Griffin, after 43 games, where their record is 30-13. Team was horrendous defensively.
What's his last name again?
Adrian Griffin.
You know what?
You just derailed a high-speed train by throwing like a bobby pin on the track. For what? For what reason?
Okay.
And now they talk about maybe Doc Rivers is on the short list. He was interviewed before the job before, didn't get it. Now he might. And the way they look at it at 30-13, they felt they were a second-round exit. You know, they would probably have finished second or third in the East and played one of the play-in teams, and they'll win that, and then they would lose the next round. Maybe the Knicks, maybe to the Cavs, whichever way it would break down. And they didn't want to do that. You know, the window is shortening the older that Giannis gets, and they went and they made that trade for Damian Lillard. It's funny, and I've said this a lot about players. Be careful about listening to players about moves. They're terrible GMs. They're terrible judges of other talent. I mean, LeBron has shown it. Giannis wanted Lillard. It worsened the defense. They were always a pretty good defensive team. Giannis wanted Budenholzer gone. He's fired after winning a championship. He wanted Adrian Griffin as the coach. At some point, you got to stop listening to the players. You take what they have to say. You incorporate it into your decision-making process, but you can't let them run the team. But the unfortunate thing is, if you don't let them run the team, Don, then they'll leave the team. Then they're going to force you to trade them. So you're kind of between the proverbial rock and a hard place.
But it still comes down to your strength and motivation and conviction as a general manager. Hey, make them part of the process. But at the end of the day, don't you have to be the one to say, this is the direction that we're going in?
Yes.
Because I think sometimes where they fail is that these teams are just so weak, they'll just let the player make all the decisions and not be involved. Know they're the wrong decision and still let it happen because they're afraid to tick them off. You got to make them part of the process. I agree. But then sit down and go, I don't know if this is a good idea. And here's why it's not a good idea. And here's why we're not going to do it.
And I'm telling you, though, in this day and age in sports, they cater to every whim of the players. They cannot hire a disciplinarian. They just can't. They can't hire a person that's going to coach somebody hard. You've got to do it in a very nice way where you don't upset the player because the player has the power. Milwaukee's biggest fear is that Giannis says, I want to go. And then what are they? Then they're the Milwaukee Bucks again. They're not the Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Bucks, and they're not the Giannis Bucks. They're just a team in Milwaukee. So they do everything that he wants them to do.
Can I throw something out here?
Yeah.
So I'm going to toss it out, and if you want it, you grab it.
Right.
And if you don't, throw it right back. Is it possible that Giannis is a bit of a Nas?
I hope not.
Is it worth considering at this point?
Because I've seen the movie that Disney made. I don't want him to be a Nas.
Because what, the movie was very cute?
It's just what a great story.
Right.
I mean, from nothing, literally nothing.
Yeah, from running around the streets of Athens.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful story. But now...
I think that... I'll throw this out.
Go ahead.
I mean, you know a lot of famous people.
Sure I do.
I think it's hard to be really famous and not develop some Nazian qualities.
It is. But
I mean, imagine the world at your feet, and you could have whatever you want. All you have to do is say it.
But like,
most people are going to say it.
Not all nozzle is created equal.
Right.
Like, I know plenty of people who have a little bit, and some people have a lot.
Who's the least nozzle famous person you've ever met?
What level of famous do you mean?
What's famous? I mean, to me, it's probably Adam Sandler.
Least nozzly.
He is not a Nas.
He doesn't have any.
Doesn't have a bit of it that I could tell.
It's a really great question. Because I mean, honestly, most people I find to be great. I think the nozzly ones stand out a little bit more.
But those are the outwardly nozzly ones. People could be nozzly behind the scenes. Because you're thinking Giannis is being nozzly behind the scenes.
Correct. And remember, we don't get a real clear picture because we're in media.
Right.
So we don't always see. I mean, you might with the Yankees, it's different. You catch people more behind the scenes, as I would at like WWE, let's say. But when people come in to do our show or to do center stage, they're usually pulling it together to be on their best. But I can usually read, like the last time we had Lizzo, I'll just say when the stories then later broke about Lizzo, whatever remains to be true, I'll just say I said to one of my friends on the show, I was like, were you surprised by that based on like her last time here? And we were kind of like, no. We got the sense, the energy we were getting.
Right.
Like, no interest in talking to me. I mean, she is so focused on Ebro, and nobody else in the room exists.
Not even Laura.
No. And now that doesn't put her in like the all-time list. But like, I've met LeBron before. LeBron, when you meet him, gives you no nozzly at all.
Right.
Same with Kevin Durant. Mm-hmm. I know KD isn't perfect on social media, but like you run into KD and hang out with him, lovely. Quiet guy, but no Nas. The Giannis thing, though, I start to wonder now because the Budenholzer thing I thought was an aggressive move for a team that's been so successful. Then they seemingly
also heartless.
And pretty heartless when you consider the passing of his brother.
Right.
And the timing. What was it, weeks later?
Like the playoff series they lost, his brother died during the playoff series.
Yeah. And then when was he let go? After the playoffs?
Right away.
Before,
like a couple, maybe a week later?
Because it's got to be on the table now, guys. We can sit here and talk to her blue in the face. So Budenholzer's brother died before Game 4. They then went on to lose the series, and then I think he was gone before the playoffs ended, or shortly thereafter. We can talk about how bad their defense is.
Right.
They're 30-13.
But
I think they were 28th, right?
The long game is
there should be room to work on that while you're 30-13.
Or 43 games, he didn't.
Or is it, hey, we've got time here to bring in the new coach, will improve the defense. We don't think we can win a championship with this guy.
And you can't bring in a defensive specialist who's going to help.
Well, maybe they tried. I don't know.
They had Terry Stotts there, and then Terry Stotts got insulted by Griffin and just quit.
Here's the thing.
That's unfortunate.
Most of the nozzly stuff comes from the NBA because the coaches seem to be interchangeable. We, in the few exceptions, we rarely give credit to the coach. We always give it to the player. Like with the conversation we just had about Allen versus Mahomes, we talked about the advantage that Patrick Mahomes has because of who his coach is. Does that ever come up in conversation about the great NBA players? Well, let's not forget that LeBron had Spoelstra in Miami. Like that doesn't come up.
So it comes up now when Miami advances because I don't think people give them their talent a lot of play, so they say it's Spoelstra.
Well, now, but as far as we start debating who's better, Curry or LeBron, like we bring these up.
Remember, LeBron wanted Spoelstra fired.
Right.
When he first got there, and Pat Riley goes, take a walk.
Yeah,
I run this team.
And you could do that because you got a bunch of rings jingling and jangling. But I think that it's on me. He probably looks at it as when we don't win, it's on me. It's not anybody else. It's not on the owner. It's not on the coach. It's not any other players. I'm Giannis. I'm the reason we win. I'm the reason we lose. I want to be able to have a say in what I think is going to help me with my legacy because that's the way the NBA is. There's only a handful of players that actually affect the game.
Also, it's almost like the guy who's like an average-looking guy and is going out with Emily Ratajkowski, and he's going to take all the nonsense that she'll throw at him.
That happens.
Because he's afraid that she'll dump him. And I think Milwaukee is the average guy, and Giannis is Emily Ratajkowski. And she could do anything. He could do anything to them, and they're afraid to lose him. So they capitulate to everything he wants. So now they look bad. They lost Budenholzer. Why can't I say that name?
That you struggle with.
They hired Griffin because of Giannis. Then he didn't get along with Giannis. Giannis didn't get along with him. Now they lose Griffin. Who are they going to hire? Is it going to be Doc Rivers? And then Don will be snarky and say, "Well, there's a 3-1 defeat waiting for them as well."
But it's true.
Yeah, he's got that on his resume. So we shall see. Now, the Knicks and the Nets tonight, Don had predicted that if the Nets had lost that game against the Lakers, that, Jacques Vaughn could be fired. He then lost an awful game against the Clippers where they had a lead. They got outscored 22-0.
It's impossible.
At the end of the game. They didn't score a point. And there's a chance the Knicks, even without Hartenstein, they could really slap around the Nets tonight in Brooklyn. And Alan Hahn was on this earlier and said, Vaughn could be in trouble, too.
And there's 2 years of the contract to eat, but the way Allen said it, they have to do it. And he blamed that loss to the Clippers on him. He said, that's coaching. When you get outrun 22-0 at the end of a game, that means you're not making any adjustments. You're not doing anything. Sometimes what's there left to do? I know it's a lot of years to eat because I just gave him an extension.
Mm-hmm.
But, Michael, it doesn't just seem to be working at all. At all. There's enough talent there for them to be better than 7 games under 500. And in a league where you have the play-in, and they're only, I think, a half game out of the play-in.
Right.
If you're going to do something, do it where you have a salvageable season here. Instead of just running the course, it'd be done, and then you end up firing a month into the next season.
And I also wonder, the Nets thinking, we don't want to rebuild, and that's why they turned down 4 first-round draft picks for Mikal Bridges, who they're going to have to sign to a max contract. They're going to have to sign to a max contract. So if 7 games under isn't rebuilding, then what is? And the worst part about the Nets is that there's not a star. They don't have a star. They've got good players, but nobody moves the needle.
See, this is not why Lou picked Patrick Waugh with the Islanders. But the positive byproduct of that move is, boy, it kind of makes the Islanders relevant that you have as high profile a coach, I think, in New York, really, Patrick Waugh. Wouldn't the Nets benefit from getting a Jeff Van Gundy? He's a name. There's instant credibility. There'd be attention on the team making that hire. And you're telling me he wouldn't do a better job and at least make this team better than they are, get them in the playoff? I mean, that to me just seems like a no-brainer to me.
Well, Don, it comes right back to what we were talking about. Players run the team because Kenny Atkinson was an outstanding coach.
All right.
Kyrie and KD didn't want him. He got fired. They hired Steve Nash because he would let them do whatever they want, and that was the bad mistake.
Well, because then you had stars, but you just said they have no stars. What player is going to say,
no one is.
So this
but
is the perfect time.
The last 3 coaches they've had are essential. Well, Jacques Vaughn they had to get because Nash was fired in the middle of the season,
right?
So they just took an assistant, but. He's got to be better. And also, the whole Net franchise should be embarrassed and ashamed what they did against the Bucks where they bagged a game. And that's not just on Vaughn. That's on the entire organization that decided to do that.
So you don't think that they'd be better with Jeff Van Gundy?
Yes, I do.
And then that they would make them relevant and there'd be attention on I think that would be like a no-brainer.
I agree.
Because there really isn't that many high-profile coaches out there, right? Like, who are you going to hire that's going to really move the needle, that's available?
Not many. I mean, he is a high profile. I mean, he was front and center on the NBA Finals for, 15, 16 years. He coached the New York Knicks, coached them to an NBA Finals. I mean, that's a high-profile guy, but is Alan Boone... Oh, boy.
You know what? Maybe it's time.
It could be. Alan Hahn said he's been away a long time. The longer you're away, maybe you're out of people's mind.
Or there's just something we don't know about. There's some sort of like...
Not about Jeffy.
No. I don't know him.
Jeffy's
There's nothing on
and I don't think you call him Jeffy.
I would stake my reputation on him.
No, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't?
No.
It's his reputation. He's
Yeah,
staking it.
I do what I want.
You hold on.
What skeleton does he have in his closet
I'm not
that wouldn't
saying,
have been exposed?
Hold on, I'm not suggesting it's anything nefarious, but you really feel that you know Jeff well enough to stake your reputation. Yes. Have you ever spoken to him off the air?
I have.
But you're not the one who... Okay. Would you stake your reputation?
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
I wouldn't stake my reputation for either one of you.
You wouldn't stake your reputation on me?
What is it? That's really? A you problem, man.
Really? You wouldn't stake your reputation on me as pristine a person as you've ever met. That's in your life.
How do you get to tell me you're as pristine a person I've ever
I've
met?
never done anything wrong in my life. I mean, and you wouldn't stake your reputation on me? I see some of the clowns you like.
You sound
I'll never embarrass you.
I'm just saying staking one's reputation.
Right, do it on me.
For someone... No, but Don... Let's go back to Don. Don said he would do it for Jeff Van Gundy.
And he'd do it again.
I said, have you ever talked to him offline? Never. Not once. That's all you need to know.
Don's a great judge of character. He just gets
I don't do many things well, but I think history has proven I'm a tremendous judge of character.
Like, we've had people walk in here to run the place, and Don will go, idiot. And he was right.
And they'd fight me. There was an executive, I said, watch this guy. Not a good guy.
I mean,
and then like guys like I really don't even remember his name. Then guys like Gunling, but I love the guys. I'm telling you, and I end up being proven right
all the time.
All the time, because I'm a really good judge of character, and I think Jeff is a good guy.
Salt of the earth.
Yes.
I don't know him well enough to say. I think he seems sometimes a little disinterested and snarky.
Well, but that's his act.
That's fine. That's not a skeleton in the closet.
That's Larry David's act,
hold on. You guys brought up the word skeleton.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm going to stake my reputation.
Something maybe you don't know.
But because
maybe they know he will not work with younger players.
Well, maybe they know he'll coach people hard, and maybe in this day and age it doesn't work.
But I think
players don't want to coach,
and that's why a lot of the other teams didn't do it. But I think the Nets right now that don't have any kind of stars, they need that shakeup. And I think he'd be perfect. Now, would he lead him to the promised land? Would eventually, 3 years from now, players would go nuts? Or would you have to fire him because maybe there'd be superstar free agents, but like, I don't want to be coached by him? Possibly. But right now, you're an irrelevant franchise. Nobody is paying attention to you. You're telling me that wouldn't move the needle and also make you a better basketball team?
How about Becky Hammond? Let's really do something different.
You know what? Let's
do it. Big name coach.
Why not?
And that would be unbelievable publicity.
Why not?
She's proven she can coach.
And by the way, you know what I'd then do next?
What's that?
Draft Caitlin Clark. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised it didn't make ENN yesterday, the run-in with the fan.
It should have. You know what? I'd like to play the apology music because that was a bad job.
But there was no... The only fault is that you allow these students to run onto the court. She didn't do anything wrong. They just didn't see each other.
Have you seen more now?
The different angles that make you think.
The new angle is...
But I will tell you what...
She not only flopped on, when you see the thing, she not only flopped...
Who?
Caitlin.
Oh, okay.
She not only flopped when you see the other angle, she sort of initiated the contact.
Oh, well,
it's like
I was defending the fan. I was defending the fan.
Oh, yeah, the fan didn't mean anything by it.
I said that's why the fault is letting the students come on the court in the first place, but she didn't do it intentionally.
You know what? I'm going to do something that's magnanimous right now. Phil Mushnick has written about this for years. He said somebody's going to really get hurt.
Why do you bother?
Really get hurt, storm in the field, and storm in the courts, and everybody laughs.
Who's saying this? Hold on, I can't. Who's saying this word?
This is Michael saying.
Go ahead, Michael.
He said it's something bad, and you know what?
Don't want this.
Two bad things happen. People storming the court. And I just don't know how you stop it, because in order to stop it, you have to have security almost for every person.
It's impossible.
It's got to be 1-to-1,
right?
Unless you put up an electric fence where people get electrocuted.
I don't think that's the play in America.
It would be funny to see it, but I wouldn't,
like they do with dogs. Like around a yard, you have a little bit of, they put a collar.
So,
like
so a visible electric collar for all the fans.
Right.
This is an interesting take by you. Now, I don't think they're going to do that, but I will say, it got to a point around when I was in college,
right,
early 2000s, where the rushing the court got insane. The rule was supposed to be and in the made-up world of sports, in my opinion, you guys could tell me if you agree or not. You know the phone number. If you knock off the number 1 team in the country,
right,
and not only that, you can't be number 2. You have to be like.
But Caitlin Clark's team being knocked off was a big.
It was a big deal.
Right.
I think they were 2, and Ohio State was like 18.
Right.
It's a big deal.
Right.
But I just thought the line was supposed to be, you're like an unranked team, and you knock off the number 1 team in the country.
Let me tell you about, like, stake your reputation. So Fordham didn't give you a lot of, like, let's storm the court moments.
No, they didn't.
So the year that I got out of school, I guess it was 83, they beat Iona on a last-second shot.
I remember like it was yesterday.
Against, at the...
I remember this was on the George Michael Sports Machine.
What was what's now the Izod Center?
Yeah.
Oh, the Meadowlands.
The Meadowlands.
Okay. Meadowlands Arena, sure.
Probably
And
Brendan
I was
Byrne
there
days.
in the stands, right?
Sure you were.
And Mark Murphy hit this shot to win it. Now, there was no automatic bid, of course, that year for the MAC, so Fordham to get to the... But they won the MAC title. And everybody storming the court. And I get caught up in it.
Even though you're writing, weren't you there?
No, I wasn't right. I was just watching as a fan.
As a fan, okay.
And I started to go. And I reached the end. I go, this isn't right. And I didn't go on the court.
Oh, my.
Because I have a moral compass. That's why.
Wow,
that's why you stake your reputation on me.
That is, it actually makes me want to go the other way.
Really?
Yeah, it makes you sound done. He almost sounds like a serial killer. He was able to stop himself.
I can see. Yeah.
At 22 years old.
Jeffrey Dahmer couldn't stop himself. I stopped myself.
But this was a different act. You weren't committing murder. You were just running on the court.
It's still trespassing. I don't do anything wrong.
And so you believe trespassing in this case is akin to murder.
No, I'm not. I didn't make that connection. I'm just saying, if it's against the law, it's against the law. Who are you to judge to what
But
level?
not all laws are similar. For example, I was driving down the streets of New York yesterday. I had a doctor appointment. I was going back and forth in the city. And at one point, I'm in terrible traffic. It's one of those deals where you end up in the right lane. The turn's way up there. But it's a bus-only lane.
Sure.
And but I'm staying in the lane. There's other cars in it. I'm in it. I'm turning. A cop pulls up right behind me, goes around me, keeps driving. You know why? Because it's a given that even though this is against the rules, it's one of those things a cop's not pulling you over for.
Exactly.
They know that it's just part of the game. It's rules of engagement. All the kids had already stormed the court, Michael. You could have lived a little bit, had a moment.
No, I had a moment without it. I enjoyed it. Took a deep breath and go, you know what, Michael? You continue to do the right thing.
And then you went outside, and Don, then he went outside and he noticed there were underage people drinking. Started calling the police.
No, I didn't do that. I noticed people doing the bubons. Then I contacted the police.
Right, and said, I'm smelling something strange.
I said, this is not legal in 1983.
Yeah.
It might be in 2023, but not now.
Not now. I don't like what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're smoking that pot.
I don't like that pot. Stop smoking pot if she does, in fact.
And who
do
took
that.
the shot?
What?
Who took
Mark
the shot?
Murphy, I believe.
Now, what if Mark Murphy, if you saw and nobody else did, that he might have stepped out of bounds before he took the shot? Would you have then, you have called it in to the NCAA or something?
No.
Or we got an anonymous tip.
Right, would you take the picture and blow it up like they did in
like Greg Brady
like
did.
Greg Brady did? Yeah. It's one of the worst episodes in the history of television.
1-800-919-3777. So it was such a bad episode, Don, that you are obviously in pain. So what would you do if you were in pain?
Well, I'd go and call my friend Dr.
I won the lottery with Jack Pocket.
Press the button to order lottery tickets. It's that easy.
You know, that really happened. I was in the bathtub and I was like, oh my God, I got to put my numbers in. And I grabbed my phone and
my phone started exploding with texts and emails from Jack Pocket telling me I won big. I still can't believe I'm a lottery winner.
How did I celebrate? I kind of did a little happy dance out to the living room.
Go to jackpocket.com to get the app and get your first ticket free.
Guys with bad genes, are they worth it?
Jeans go with everything.
They go with nothing. Dudes, get the new Only Pant by Fabletics.
Awesome.
Want one pair of pants that does everything like magic? Breathable cooling tech. Always stretch. Secure phone pocket.
Bro, I'm in an Only Pant ad.
Water repellent. Work, golf, date night, hiking, biking. It's so everything.
See this stretch?
You forget about the deal you're getting.
It's our biggest sale of the year. Get the Only Pant for $19 at Fabletics.com.
Care.com, you can find all the help you need. You can find babysitters, and you can find nannies. You can find dog walkers who'll step in as your best friend's new best friend, and housekeepers who can get your floors looking great, at least for a little bit. You can find companions and helpers and caregivers, but most importantly, you can find out what it's like to not have to do it all on your own. Find all the care you need at Care.com.
You done yet? It's 2 a.m. Why are you still scrolling through videos? You're not paying me overtime here. If you really want to see something new, why not change those shades that have been broken for the past 2 years? Let's tap the Thumbtack app, and in a matter of seconds, we'll find a pro to install new shades.
Okay.
With Thumbtack, you can easily find top-rated professionals for every home project.
Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Get ready for the British Basketball League. 10 teams, one electrifying league. Global talent, local passion. The British Basketball League.
Stay safe online. Learn more at CISA.gov/secure our world.
You are watching Yes.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael K. Show. The Four Seasons talked about a special night, late December back in '63. Well, 61 years later, Joel Embiid had quite a night late January here in '24. The Sixers' big man scored 24 of Philly's 34 first-quarter points, and he added 10 more in the second quarter. His stat line would have been acceptable for a full game at halftime with 34 points and 10 boards, but he wasn't done. He bested his first quarter effort in the third, putting up 25 points. He was 10 of 15 from the field, and Philly put up 42 in the third quarter. He played just 5 minutes in the fourth and scored 11 points. Philly scores 71 in the second half, with more than half coming from their big fella. They beat the Spurs by 10. Embiid became just the 9th player in NBA history to score 70 or more in a game, to go along with his 18 rebounds and 5 assists, and he scored 70 while hitting just 1 three-pointer. Amazing. He connected on 21 of his 23 free throws and shot close to 59% from the field. Efficient and proficient for the reigning MVP. The night was also special because of this. It was the anniversary of Kobe Bryant dropping 81 on the Raptors back in 2006. Talk about efficiency. And last night's matchup and result was all about synchronicity. Rookie Victor Wembanyama was inspired by Embiid's performance in the game, and Embiid idolized Kobe Bryant. After the game, he talked about the importance of paying it forward.
It's great because, even though I started playing late, from the time I started playing, Kobe was my guy. He's the reason why I started playing basketball. And it's funny because on the same night he had 81, and that was my favorite player. So, when I started, that was the guys that I was looking up to, and that were doing all this. So, if he says it's inspiring, I hope in a couple of years, hopefully when I don't have to guard him and I'm out of the league, he's able to do the same thing and go out and break all his record and possibly break Wilt's record of 100 points.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Let's get through some phone calls. 1-800-919-3776. Chris in Jersey City. Chris.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. What's up?
I just wanted to talk about Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and Gronk and Brady.
Okay.
So they said that Kelsey and Mahomes surpassed Brady and Gronk for touchdowns for postseason.
Yes.
So, you know, as you know, Kelsey and Mahomes only been playing 6 years together.
It's a good point. It's a good, but you'd have to also say, Chris, you'd have to say that Andy Reid is a bit more adventurous offensively than Bill Belichick was. So I think that he gives them much more latitude to do what they have to do. They throw the ball much more than the Patriots used to.
But you go back and you look, it was the anniversary of, what Patriots anniversary they just had this weekend? Oh, the Steelers championship game a few years ago in the rain. Belichick was coaching them up to use Chris Hogan. Don, was running circles around the Pittsburgh defense. Like, adventurous may not be the word for Belichick, but he absolutely got the most out of every little bit of talent they had.
Yeah.
It was sick. I mean, sometimes it's hard to imagine. When you think about Deion Branch and Troy Brown and just the cast of sort of, with all due respect, kind of, I mean, Jabroni's a Jays?
Jabroni's a Jays.
I mean, would Wes Welker have been a stud tons of other places?
No.
Would Edelman have been a star at other places? I mean, maybe. Even those guys, they had him for a window. They were hot for a window. They got him for 3 years. Amendola also.
Yeah.
They're just... Don, you look at the running backs. Was Kevin Falk that great a player? You go through one by one. There's just not that many studs on that team.
And it's comparable. Gronk played 22 postseason games, Kelsey 20. Although, again, in 2007, Gronk played, but he was a shell of himself. I know in the Super Bowl, at least, his leg was injured. But, you know, has the game changed enough in that time? I don't know.
Let's go to Jerry in New Jersey. Jedger.
Yeah, hello, fellas.
How you doing?
Happy New Year.
Same to you.
All right. Just a couple comments. I mean, I guess a few years back, the Dodgers took away the white outlines on their uniforms as well. And it actually, to me, does not look as popping as it does with the white.
Oh, I would agree, but I mean, I think they're trying. I mean, it's a very dangerous thing to change anything about the Yankee uniform, and the only way you could do it is if you're actually going back to what it was, rather than recreating something like putting purple around the uniform or something like that.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I just think you know, you need new wave stuff, not old stuff.
Yeah, but old sells. You know, look at Mitchell and Ness.
I really need to see it.
I think for the younger generation, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to like that as much. But, you know, I guess time will tell.
We will tell.
But my second question was, what do you think about the Giants? I think the Giants should swoop in and get Belichick. I mean, I think they regret if they don't. I mean, we need someone to bring this organization back to prominence like it was. Belichick, I think, would love to come back and finish his career with the Giants where he started. When I watched that 30 for 30 of Bill at Bill, I mean, he was in tears when he went in the locker room. I just think he has a lot of.
I just think I hear what you're saying, Jerry, but I think it happened at the wrong time. I think they really believe in Shane and Dable. You know, if it happened a year ago, obviously they would make a big push for him.
The timing's not right.
The timing is just wrong. It's right for the Jets. I don't know if he would go to the Jets, but it's right for the Jets if they wanted to make a move. But for the Giants, I just think the timing is just terribly wrong. Now, they decided, you know what, we're going to move on from Dable, even though we think he's going to be a great coach, because we know Belichick's a great coach. Now, you'd have very little argument, but I think it puts the Giants in a bad situation.
And you're not guaranteed to necessarily get him. I know he wants to coach the Giants, but there are more attractive jobs. I mean, Atlanta might be more attractive just because it's in the South. They've got a lot of talent. It sounds like they might be aggressive to try to bring Russell Wilson there. What's the Giants' quarterback situation? They're not going to be able to draft one. Daniel Jones you don't know about. I mean, it would be a great story. I'd love to see Belichick coach here. But is it the most attractive place for him to go?
There was a story today. I just wanted to bring this up. I wonder what the analytics people say about this.
Okay.
Okay? The darling of the analytics crowd, the high priestess, the player that they put on a pedestal, that is the perfect analytics player, is Joey Gallo. He just signed a $5 million deal with the Nationals, which means that there's not a team out there that wants him. $5 million in a market where they're printing money and handing it out as soon as they can. So how did it all go wrong? Is he a different player, or did they actually see him play for the Yankees and the Dodgers and the Twins and go, wow, he really strikes out a lot, and he hits 170. All right, he'll run into 20 home runs, but is he really worth it to have on a team? Does this open their eyes that just because somebody jumps off a computer printout doesn't mean they're going to be a good player?
I don't know. You have to ask them. Now, the argument might be that the numbers did become even worse. Like, he just seemed to be more effective in Texas than when he came to New York and went anywhere.
Bad player.
No, I agree with you, but have the numbers held up? I know they loved him in Texas, but have they held up since he left to go to the Yankees and the Dodgers?
Well, I think when you're on a bad team like Texas, you can play under the radar. Nobody is planning for you and scouting you as much as they're scouting the Yankees or the Dodgers. And you know what? The proof positive that he's a non-factor, he was healthy for the playoffs, and the Twins didn't put him on their active roster. So all of these geniuses that said, this is the guy, he's not. And it's not just that he can't play in New York. He's not. He could. Any of the 30 teams could have taken him right now. $5 million is almost a utility salary. Nobody wants him. So maybe it's not always right. It's right a lot, but it certainly wasn't right here.
Let's see if anything went well. OPS is the big number, right?
Yeah,
they love OPS.
Yeah.
All right.
War OPS. OPS first.
Well, OPS I think is more important.
Well, OPS.
It's funny because I think you're a POS.
In 2019, when he made the All-Star team, he had a 986,
which is
OPS.
great.
All right. In 2020 with Texas, it went down to 679, but then it hopped back up in 2021 when he played. Combined, it was 808 for combined. It was 869 with Texas, and then 707 with the Yankees, and then 638, 621. 671. It made a huge drop. So I guess that's their answer is going to be, well, listen, if you're going to play to a high 800s or low 900s OPS, well, then that is the player you're supposed to have. But then it dropped down into the sixes. That's probably what they would tell you.
Yeah, because people pitch them differently. The game changed. High fastball. He couldn't hit a high fastball. He's got an uppercut swing. He would strike out constantly. I'm not anybody, okay? And I watch this guy. Why does everybody want this guy? I mean, you look at some of the Yankees traded Ezekiel Duran for him. He's a good player.
But you talked about scouting, Michael. I'm sure they just did what scouting. Nobody's going to go look to watch him play. They looked at the numbers. And that's what we always heard. Well, the guy gets on base. But then he didn't even get on base with the Yankees. And that was the difference. It really dropped after going to Texas. Now, you could say, well, maybe you couldn't handle New York. Well, in L.A., it was 671. It went up to Minnesota to 741. But as you said, they made the playoffs. He wasn't even on the roster. Had 21 home runs for the Twins.
Yep.
Wasn't on the roster.
Yep. Let's go to Roger in West Islip. Roger.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call. How are you?
You got it. What's up?
Listen, I was circling back to famous people that might have a little Nas in them, and I was curious. I mean, it seems for me from observing from afar, Reggie Jackson might have a little Nas in him.
I don't even think a little.
I mean, he's out there. He's definitely. I mean, Roger. I'm not to disparage him. He's got a very large ego.
Right. And that's what this is all about.
But
Nas is ego, right?
There are players who love talking with him, but, I mean, you talk with Reggie, you're going to talk about Reggie.
All right, so is that, would you consider Nas is one of the
one
major...
man's Nas is another man's not. I don't have a problem with it.
But usually the people that have nozzle are people with an ego. And I would think Reggie had a big ego.
But they don't necessarily equal each other. There are people with big egos who are not nozzles.
Right.
And there are people who are not nozzles, and it's not because they just talk about themselves. It's because they're nasty or annoying.
But it still comes from a place of ego. Like not talking to you, being that guy because I'm above talking to you.
Fair.
I mean, Reggie referred to himself as Reggie or Mr. October. Like who refers to themselves not by their name but by their nickname? I knew somebody.
Not the Caster.
I worked at a
That was your line. Do you feel like you blew it there?
Yeah, I did.
It was sitting right there.
myself up.
All you had to do was say, not the Caster.
When I worked at a place years ago.
The Fan?
No.
Oh.
It was an online station called IATA.
Yep. Killed that one too?
Oh, boy.
It did die. But listen, in my defense, it's 2000. I mean, an internet radio show where like 80% of people had dial-up, it was a tough time.
Oh, it was.
Does it surprise you it's been 22 years still haven't killed this place yet?
Well,
I mean, you're working toward it, but
I think I'm keeping it alive.
Beautiful.
That's my ego.
That's your nozzle.
Right. So they had Reggie like do a show.
Right.
So they had to give him the equipment and they had to go to his house and install it. And the person told me that went down there, like every time, he's like, no, Mr. October doesn't want it in that room. He wants it in that room. No, Mr. October doesn't think this is a good idea. He referred to himself as Mr. October. Now, I've had great dealings with him. I mean, he just came out of nowhere. Peter, we were doing a show at
Across
the
the
dugout
stadium,
across from Yankees. He just wandered in to say hello.
Yeah.
Reggie Jackson.
Yeah. It was unbelievable.
And then referred to himself as Mr. October.
I really believe that there's times that you can catch people and times that you can't. Well, what kind of mood they're in? I mean, there's times that he's been a delight.
Peter, he was in the studio with us for like an hour years ago.
Yeah.
Great, really nice person. But I think there's nozzle.
Well, also,
can you be nice and a nozzle? Is that? I'll ask you.
Well, how about this? People evolve, though. I mean, some people. For example, there's a brand new episode just came out today of the Juan Eppa's Life podcast, available wherever you find podcasts.
Who does that podcast?
It's myself and my friend Cypher Sounds, famed DJ and comedian Cypher Sounds. And today we had Kid Cudi on the show. Cudi used to notoriously be known as being a nozzle. That would be a good way of putting it. Like just rough around the edges, and he was wonderful. I mean, he was great. Sounded like he's in a different space. We talked about the fact that he used to be difficult. Now that doesn't mean tomorrow he wouldn't be difficult with someone else. In fact, Don, you know what? In my early dealings, you're gonna care about this, Don.
Oh, I want to hear this.
In my early dealings before I knew him well with Q-Tip, he was very distant. He if you don't know him at least back in the day, I can't speak to it now. He's one of my friends, and I love the man. But when I met him at first and I didn't know him, he takes a second.
Well, he's a Nas to me.
No, he's just not impressed.
I refuse to believe it. He is my closest hip-hop friend. I could say that without any...
He has your cell phone number. Obviously, he's close with Peter. He wants nothing to do with me. He doesn't even call when I'm on the show.
It is weird. That part is weird.
Yeah, and I use exclusively Q-tips.
See, it's
that
things
might
like
be
that.
one of the reasons.
It's jokes like that.
Hey, I'm sure he's probably, if he's a Jet fan, is he a Met fan too? Does he have something against the Yankees, maybe?
I feel like he likes the
Yankees. I'll ask him.
I feel like he's a Yankee fan.
You want me to text?
How can you be a Yankee fan and not adore me? How's that possible?
It's a great question.
You want me to text and ask him?
Yeah.
What problem do you have with Michael?
Do you have a problem with Michael?
No, I'm going to ask him.
You have more of a problem with Michael than Zach Wilson. Something like that. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports
So, you need a suit. A tux even? Maybe you got invited to a fancy party, or you're someone's plus one, and the last time you resorted to a warehouse, you didn't like the way you looked. This time, get a better suit from the Black Tux, and we'll deliver it with time to spare. Try it on. If the fit isn't right, we'll replace it right away, for free. And on the big day, you'll look as great as you feel. With the Black Tux, it's easy to look your best for every occasion. TheBlackTux.com. Formal wear for the moment.
I have to find a babysitter.
I have a lot of questions.
When can they start? Today? Now? Tomorrow? How about Saturday and Sunday?
I need any kind of day.
My wife and I haven't been out in a year.
We need a date night. No offense. Help!
Can I check reviews?
Are they background checked?
Do I have to go pick them up?
Can they handle all this?
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
There's an easier way. From little fixes to big projects, taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
Guys, let's be honest. Buying pants sucks. It should not be this difficult. I'm looking for that one pair of pants that does everything. These just came in. They're the only pant from Fabletics Men. 4-way stretch, done. All-way stretch, you're going to feel the difference. The best thing about the Only Pant, honestly, everything. You almost forget about the deal that you're getting. Same premium quality as Lululemon, but at a third of the price.
Get ready for the British Basketball League. 10 teams, one electrifying league. Global talent, local passion. The British Basketball League.
So a 2-2 tie. There's a high fly ball deep to right. Freezing, just freezing. Bayer Aspirin, official sponsor of fans' hearts.
Look at all these blackjack games. You got Spanish 21, Vacation Blackjack, Touchdown Blackjack. What is this? Some big old Vegas buffet where you're putting the waffles next to the crab legs, deciding what dessert you want for breakfast? Well, guess what? Smack me in the mouth with all of it. I want it all.
New players, get started with the deposit match up to $100 in casino credits when you deposit just $5. The crown is yours.
Somebody bring me the cream puffs.
Welcome to Win Reality. Experience unlimited at-bats from home any season, anytime. See game speed pitches from more than 600 pitchers. Get ready for game time with game simulations. Face your friends in live competitions. And train like the pros with expert drills and metrics to track your progress. So when your moment comes, you'll be ready. Win Reality. Baseball uncaged.
Tip off this basketball season and win up to 25 times your cash with easy-to-play basketball on Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Visit prizepicks.com/TV for a first deposit match up to $100.
When choosing between style, comfort, and performance, we chose all of the above. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
New Yorkers are tough and work hard. Respect to those working or retired from hard jobs, living on a fixed income. Because making ends meet can be hard, but paying your energy bill shouldn't be. New York State and New York State Utilities have partnered to build New York Energy Advisor, a one-stop site to find programs and resources that lower your energy costs. It's quick, it's easy.
And then it's done.
Go to energyadvisor.ny.gov today.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
If anyone knows the joy of rescuing animals, it's me. Just ask my rescues, who are all very important members of my family. Your life can also be forever changed by adopting a shelter pet. And it's not just about happiness your pet gets from finding a loving home, but that which you'll get from bringing them into your life. The heroes at American Humane have been helping animals for more than 140 years, whether it's rescuing animals caught in disasters, ensuring the safety of animal stars on screen, or protecting our planet's endangered species. They go above and beyond to further their mission and make the world a kinder place for animals. Please consider adopting a shelter pet and support American Humane. You can learn more at AmericanHumane.org.
Guy comes in and takes our biggest award. It's unbelievable.
Just basically what Anthony is saying is we didn't do a good job today.
Yeah.
I'll try to be better.
No, that was good stuff.
Q-Tip has responded.
Okay.
Okay, what did he say? Is it hurtful?
He says, I love Mr. K. My fave part of spring is hearing him call a game at the stadium.
Wow, you hear that?
Oh, that's nice.
Really
Then why doesn't he ask for my number?
You know why? Because he probably feels like maybe you don't want to be bothered.
No.
Like, no, I mean, listen.
I love famous people on my phone.
I think he wants.
I like when you admit to just being the low life that you are.
How does that make me a low life?
Just that you like collecting celebrity phone numbers.
Yeah, well, you don't?
I don't.
What's the most famous person in your phone?
We've played this game.
Well, let's play it again.
That's
You
right.
might have added somebody today.
I play poker multiple times. I like to do it just once and be done. I think it's time to refresh.
While he's looking into that, you know what Joey Gallo, his slash line was last year?
I don't know what that is.
177, 301, 440.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
21 home runs and 332 play. But wait a minute. With this, you like this? He struck out 42.8% of the time.
Right.
The highest single season mark ever for a player with at least 300 plate appearances. Oh, but he's good. He's a perfect analytic player.
I know it. When you first said slash line, I'm like, oh, wait, what analytic like Babbitt thing is this slash line? You know, but no, okay, I know.
Batting average,
I get it. I get it. So who is the best? I guess Q-Tip would be mine, right? I mean, there's nobody who's bigger than Q-Tip that would be in my phone, Peter. You know my phone.
Gray Buttle, of course.
Yeah.
See, don't mock.
Sorry.
See, what is that?
Sorry. Bigger than Q-Tip in your phone. Stephen A. Smith?
Stephen A. Is he in your phone?
I think we lost touch.
That's unfortunate. That's very
bad. Got to lose touch.
I was at his mom's funeral.
By the way, I think that's a guy whose number. That's a guy whose number you should have. Then I have his number. He's very responsive. Stephen.
Yeah, he's great. Anthony texted me, didn't return.
Well,
yeah,
that's
sad.
There's a totem pole, and Anthony's in a position. My best number.
Now, Steve Young. Steve Young might be bigger than Q-Tip, right?
They're in the same ballpark. You know, legends of their sport, if you will.
Yeah.
What about Aaron Boone? You got Aaron Boone?
I got
there
Aaron
too?
Boone.
You know?
You think A-Rod's most famous?
No, you have Larry David.
Yeah.
You think Larry David's more famous than A-Rod?
I do,
Yes.
yeah.
Wow.
Certainly more beloved. All due respect to
lighter.
No, don't you insult
No,
Alex and then say all due respect.
Hold on.
He deserves more than that.
Well, hold on. Alex is hugely famous and he is loved. Larry has a different sort of relationship with the American public. People are obsessed with LD. By the way, aren't we supposed to be having him soon?
Yeah, I thought he was going to come in sometime in January.
Are you going to follow up here? The show starts in 2 weeks.
How did I forget? I've had the back and forth. Almost every Giant game was with Billy Crystal.
Oh, yeah, Billy Crystal.
Hold on, real quick.
You think Billy Crystal's bigger than Larry?
Yes.
Hosted the Oscars?
No.
Movie star?
We love Larry.
In this moment, they're very close. They're neck and neck. Hold on, real quick. Who was the one that you said? Don's the best of his phone. I take full responsibility for.
What? Q-Tip?
Q-Tip.
Yeah.
Crystal,
yeah.
And I think the Boone conversation. No, that was simultaneous. I think we both joined friendships with Boone at the same time.
Boone.
But you know why? You know why that is, Don? Because I share the gift.
Boone
share the gift.
Boone showed a very sketchy friendship today. Let's just leave it at that.
I have an underrated one. D.B. Sweeney, who played Shoeless Joe Jackson in 8 Men Out.
Yeah, underrated. Don't you have Kevin Smith too?
No,
I don't have Kevin. I have Brian O'Halloran.
He's Brian O'Halloran from
but
Clerks.
not Kevin Smith.
No.
Okay.
You can't confuse O'Halloran with Smith.
But you Smith is the bigger one.
Of course, but it's almost that says you don't need to point that out.
It's the ESPN New York Superbox Bonanza.
You're an animal.
This year, each qualifier will take home a $25 Fanatics gift card, have a chance at one of 10 Superbox prizes. Be caller number. So Anthony couldn't get Stephen A today, right? Be caller number 199 right now. At
It's not even right.
888-987-ESPN
No.
to select a box for the big game with a chance to win $500 in the first and third quarters, $1,000 at halftime, and a final score payout of $2,000. All brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey and the brand new Tullamore Dew Honey and Security Dodge. Come get some. Again, caller number 199. 199.
Don't do it. Just pick up the first call.
No, it's illegal. Do it. 199.
Test it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, Peter has ENN coming up. And first, he's going to tell you all about the good folks at FanDuel.
This is the guy. Wait, this is the guy? You're thinking of getting your suit from this guy? For your wedding? Are you sure? We can do better. The Black Tux is here to help. Rent or buy, online or in a showroom, on your terms. Shipped to you wherever you are, guaranteed to fit. Because you deserve better. The Black Tux, formal wear for your moment.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
The next Powerball drawing is presented by Jackpocket. Jackpocket lets you order official state lottery tickets right on your phone. Just pick your numbers and place your ticket order. See a scan of your ticket right in the app. And get your winnings instantly. Go to jackpocket.com to get the app and get your first ticket free. Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app.
See everything your restaurant can do with tools from Square. Get a POS that connects to a KDS so you can handle orders ASAP. Reach more customers with online ordering and QR codes. Use pocket-sized hardware so you can turn tables faster. And get one account for everything so you can take care of it all and take it easy too. Get your all-in-one restaurant system and sign up at square.com today.
Guys with bad jeans, are they worth it?
Jeans go with everything.
They go with nothing. Dudes, get the new Only Pant by Fabletics.
Awesome.
Want one pair of pants that does everything like magic? Breathable cooling tech. Always stretch. Secure phone pocket.
Bro, I'm in an Only Pant ad.
Water repellent. Work, golf, date night, hiking, biking. It's so everything.
See this stretch?
You forget about the deal you're getting.
It's our biggest sale of the year. Get the Only Pant for $19 at Fabletics.com.
We just signed the lease on our third shop. I guess we're a chain now, right? We've worked so hard to get here. My assistant went to CustomInc.com to get our new uniforms and merch with all the location names. Our custom gear helps him get our brand out into the community. He takes care of all of our Custom Ink orders. He was able to find great products, upload the new art, and have boxes sent directly to each of the shops. Custom Ink makes it so easy. Get started today at CustomInc.com.
It started when he ordered his Brunt work boots. He's going on about how they're comfortable as sneakers, but he never takes them off. With his buddies at night, I caught him in the shower, and he just goes, "What? They're waterproof."
Brunt, the tools you wear.
So a 2-2 tie. There's a high fly ball deep to right. Crazy, just crazy.
Bayer Aspirin, official sponsor of fans' hearts.
Cards and gear. So remember, if you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download now.
We all smoked in those days. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now.
Show me what you're cooking. Oh, let me see them moves. You got the whole
get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download now. If you watch Yes Network on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download the app to stream the nets and experience the game in a whole new way with live stats, pick and play, and Yes rewards. So remember, if you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download now.
Hi. How's everyone doing over there? Michael?
Good.
Good. Welcome to ENN. Ray Rowe.
On TV.
It's presented to you by our friends over at Security Dodge. Go see Michelle Scalisian.
Come get some.
Yeah.
Let's start off by saying good evening to Michael.
And we're going to have Alan Hahn on there more. Might be time.
Good evening to Michael.
There's a bad look for Giannis, who pushed out Budenholzer.
Oh, boy.
Not a clean day.
Good evening to Michael.
But is Alan Boone... Oh, boy.
You know what? Maybe it's time.
It could be Alan Hahn said...
You know what?
I love what Michael punts. He punted.
He really did. Good evening to Don.
It's got to pop at me, Peter. It's got to be like a splash in the face.
And good evening to Don.
I say, hey, Jay, what's going on with this?
I like that in the background. It sounds like Michael's dying. You hear that? Listen to this closely.
I say, hey, Jay, what's going on with this?
Oh, that's not what you want.
Who's he talking about?
Yeah, when was that? That today?
Jay. Hey, Jay.
Dr. Jay Shaw.
Dr. Jay
Dr.
Shaw.
Jay
Oh, that's
Shaw.
right.
I wasn't coughing, and I asked him, would you call him Jay?
No, listen close.
Very closely. I say, hey, Jay, what's going on with this?
You coughing up with
I think I
lung.
was laughing.
No, I don't think so. Maybe. Actually, you know what? Might have been laughing.
No.
Good evening to myself. Hanging out with the great Mike Green.
Mike Green.
That's not what you want.
That's the worst of all of them.
Maybe I was thinking about AC.
But then you
His
Mike
friends call him Mike. AC Mike Green. You've heard that before.
I didn't know that.
Let's say good evening to myself and Michael.
I wasn't shaming you.
I still feel shame. And to Michael and Don.
You know what Joey Gallo, his slash line was last year?
I don't know what that is. I was just trying to be anti-analytics. Did you think when you heard it, all right, this is going to be some kind of like wacky name for, when you swing down at a ball?
They don't want you to swing down at the ball.
I know. That's why he was rated highly at that, and that's a problem.
Also, I'd like to say good evening to the McGovern campaign.
McGovern, Democrat, for the people.
We found it.
Oh, that's here.
What people? Just a few, right?
No, the people.
But
McGovern, Democrat, for the people.
Not in that election cycle.
Well, he was trying. You know how elections work?
Oh, I understand, but a lot of Democrats probably voted for Nixon, is what I'm saying.
But he was saying he was for the people.
But they didn't think so because they voted for Nixon.
Well,
and he disagreed with them.
I mean, he disagreed. He was saying he was the one for the people, not Nixon. But unfortunately,
but what people? Must have been like what, a dozen?
Well, how'd it turn out?
Yeah.
In the long run. In the long run.
Right.
It did. No one's draped in glory.
Right.
Okay.
There's no,
I don't want to get into politics.
There's
here.
there's no movie Frost McGovern.
It's a great point. That was a great movie, by the way.
Right. Great play as well. I want to show that. I guess it was a play original.
Wow.
No, it is a good movie.
He's so erudite, you don't even realize
Who, Don?
Yeah.
I know what I know.
Speaking of which, the Oscar nominations are out.
Nomination.
I saw one movie, Barbie. That's it.
Me too.
I didn't see Barbie.
I think Barbie's the only one I've seen too.
I saw Oppenheimer.
I've not seen
That's a
Oppenheimer
pick me
yet.
up.
Is it good?
Well, it's very well done, yeah, but it's certainly not a
Barbie
feel-good
because
movie.
the kids.
Did the kids follow? Did kids follow Barbie? I guess you can get on multiple levels.
Marco protested and went right to the iPad. Jalen enjoyed it.
Well,
I enjoyed it too. It was good.
You watch it streaming or in a theater?
Streaming.
Oh, you got to watch it in
Well,
a
wait,
theater to get the full pink.
You get what you get, Michael.
Did the kids enjoy it?
Charlie wouldn't go.
Oh, so this is a thing. Wait, hold on. This is a thing.
Callie went with her friends. Yeah.
Isn't it? That's so funny that both of your boys had no interest in watching.
He didn't want to see it.
Yeah, why would you? Would you watch something if you were 6? Would you watch a Barbie movie?
I have no. I can honestly say, I have no idea what 6-year-old Peter Rosenberg's perception of Barbie was. But don't you think it plays interestingly into what sort of the theme of the movie is about, like patriarchy and
well,
society?
you know what really plays into the theme of the movie? They didn't nominate Margot Robbie or Greta Gerwig. That kind of plays into the whole theme, doesn't it?
Wow, but Ryan Gosling did.
Yeah.
He was very good though.
But Margot was very good
Margot
too.
actually put the movie together, and it was a top grossing movie.
But was it nominated for Best Picture too?
Yes, but she was not
Nominated for Best Actress. Wait, did she direct?
Gerwig directed. She produced.
I enjoyed it.
She produced.
So you didn't see it?
I did.
Oh, you did. The fight scene. I was like doubled over. It was so funny.
I thought there were a lot of great. By the way, my friend Mark Ronson was nominated for an Oscar today as well for "I'm Just Ken," which he wrote and composed. The Ken song.
Is Mark in your phone?
Yes,
I would think so.
Yeah, I said friend. By the way, he's already won an Oscar previously.
I know.
For what?
Another movie.
Mm-hmm. More specifically,
which I
you
know.
Really? Do you know this?
I do know, but
you've said it before.
Yeah, I can't recall it now. Sorry.
Here's a hint. I'm gonna give you one hint.
All right.
Bradley Cooper.
As the Star is Born.
That's right.
Yeah.
Shallow.
There.
Yeah. Wow, you really
Story of my
you're
life.
so diverse.
I saw that. It was good.
You saw that one too. That was the last movie I saw. I really want to see American Fiction, which Jeffrey Wright, famed Commanders fan, was nominated for.
Mm-hmm.
That looks very good. But I
remember when SAG-AFTRA used to send us the DVD. Now you got to do something.
By the way, but they
I still got them though.
But they don't send them to me anymore.
You got the DVDs still physically?
Yeah, maybe not this last year. Maybe
No.
I remember.
Let me tell you something.
You know, lay off the pipe, okay?
Yeah, the Boubange. Let me tell you something right now.
He wasn't suggesting Boubange.
Yes,
he
I
said
was.
Pipe.
Yeah, the Boubange.
You're talking. No, you meant crack.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Now, hold on. What would I have to look up? Screener in my email. If I looked up SAG-AFTRA screener.
Do this on your own time. Let's go to ENN. There's a lot of stuff.
Oh, there it
going
is. Oh, the voting for the SAG Awards opened 2 weeks ago. We got to get it. By the way, Don, you'll have to hire Rodney and have him come to your house to figure this out for you.
Yeah, so that'll take 3 years.
All right, guys. Real quick, this was pretty crazy news to wake up to today. I saw it was a double whammy for me. Number one, The Rock is now on the board of TKO, which is the company that houses WWE and UFC.
Just saw the game plan this weekend.
Oh, really? The Rock vehicle?
No.
And I thought that would be the big WWE news for the day. I went, oh, wow, The Rock is on the board. That's neat.
Now, before you get into the big news, how did The Rock get the rights to the name The Rock? He never owned that before.
Till today.
Yeah. How did he do that?
Because
who had it? WWE?
Correct.
So now that he's part of the board, he said, I want the name.
I believe I think that was
pretty valuable thing to get.
I think that was part of the deal. Now,
Okay.
if you were to go back all the way, for example, to The Rock's first couple of movies, like The Rundown and what was the Walking Tall, which I love, by the way.
He was The Rock.
He was The Rock. And if you also go back and look, Vince McMahon gets a producer credit as well because he was all up in that. And so I think as part of this, it was he joins the board. Pretty cool look for everybody. And yeah, now he retains, I guess, the rights to the Rock. But I thought that would be the big news of the day. It was not. It was not. The WWE signed a 10-year, $5 billion deal to take Raw, the show that is currently Monday Night Raw, to Netflix. In the first deal of its kind. It is the largest deal in the history of Netflix, and it is really the first huge, weekly and consistent live streaming episodic show. I guess the comp we could have leading up till that, something that was previously network, that not even really Thursday Night Football.
So how long has it been?
Because that now has been a few years that it was on NFL Network. It already was sort of specific.
So what is the run?
How many years?
Since when?
This week, Monday night's episode was episode 1600. Divide that by 52. 31 years, maybe? How's that sound? Started in 93.
Okay. So
31 years.
So it beats The Simpsons just because of more episodes, or does that not count as episodic television because it's a cartoon? Because that started in 89.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think The Simpsons may not count because it's cartoon. Because I know that episodic is the way they describe
still episodes.
Listen, I don't want to get into a semantics argument with you. Okay?
But they never take.
Bart's had
they never take a week off.
They do
like
not,
it's 52 weeks.
That could be it.
The Simpsons do 22 episodes a year,
and they stop. Right. This is the week after
continuing episodic. Let's say that.
Oh, I like what you've done. So either way, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how it affects live sports. And Netflix, for someone like me, you look at the Netflix prices over the last couple of years. Prices have gone up. We talked about that recently, significant. And now for someone like me, it makes it a guarantee that I would not let go of Netflix.
Now I've told you that I have the Netflix level with commercials,
right?
And you know what really chaps me to no end? There's things you can't watch now. It's not just that you have commercials. Like I wanted to watch the Yogi Berra documentary, which is great. Everybody tells me. Not available.
The Yogi doc is on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not available to people at your level. Like I'm some lowlife. So, I mean, if you say, okay, it's $12 with commercials, then let me watch the documentary with commercials. Don't say I can't watch it.
So what level is that considered? That's very interesting.
It's got to be the top level without commercials.
No. But you, what level are you on? The K level.
One. Yeah, the K level.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. I'm really sorry to hear that. Either way, that deal is scheduled to start in January 2025.
Oh, listen to this. Netflix will axe their cheapest basic ad-free plan that costs $11.99. They've also hinted at additional price increases for subscribers. You give out $5 billion, you're not taking it out of Reed Hastings' pocket. You're just going to take it out of your people's pocket. So the people that don't like wrestling are paying for it.
I don't like the angle that you're taking on
That's
this.
true, though.
Yeah, usually these things do come at some sort of cost, right?
Yeah. That's why when fans go, sign everybody. Okay. Then your chicken bucket's going to cost more.
Nobody wants to pay more for their chicken bucket.
No, and the chicken bucket is a delight.
Oh, my God. The amount of chicken and french fries.
Chicken and fries.
Just filling up a huge bucket.
Yeah.
How many calories do you think are in one of those big chicken buckets?
It's got to be over 3,000.
Right?
Yeah.
In the huge chicken
and big
bucket?
time carbs, too.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Not what you're
eating. It's meant for the family, no? You're supposed to eat it yourself?
I've seen people just devouring their own bucket.
Yeah, there's people. Yeah, but
I would do it. I could
designed
do
as
I
a
could do
solo
it.
act.
What about so good?
How many could you handle your own helmet nachos at City Field?
At this point, not anymore. Back in the day, easily.
Yeah, not a problem. Back in the day, you know what I used to do, Don?
Anthony doing a great job. Just checked out the Yankee chicken bucket, the calories. 2,500.
2,500 in the bucket.
But you know what? You got to go deeper into the calories. If it's all carbs, that becomes fat.
It's worse. It's even worse. When I was young, in high school, in my more rotund days of high school,
and your heart was an open book.
I had phases. I had 9th grade pretty thin, senior year pretty thin, 10th and 11th grade.
Cow.
Yeah, not great. Mm-hmm. We for Redskins games, me and my friend Christian, we would go to McDonald's. We'd each get
Was Christian a Christian?
That's right.
Okay.
And he wasn't devoted or anything, but devout,
he was Christian,
I guess.
Yeah.
He was Christian. Catholic, if you will. We would get 2 double cheeseburgers. They were on the dollar menu at the time. 2 double cheeseburgers each.
Right.
And then we'd go to Outback and pick up and share an Aussie fries.
No.
Legitimately.
You didn't get the
Bloom?
The blooming onion.
Love
That's
blooming
one
onion.
of the great things ever.
Well, everyone knows the bloomin' onion's amazing.
Yeah.
But what people forget about is the Aussie fries, which is also good for about 3,000 calories.
Right.
A pile of fries, melted cheese, bacon done, and then a ranch dip. You basically, it's like gargling in fat. It's you're the filth of the universe when you're eating.
And you were heavy.
That's right.
I wasn't heavy, but my senior year in high school, they had open campus. We were able to leave school to get, and there was the Colonial Grill in Patterson, New Jersey. It was a Texas wiener place. I would get
you love a wiener.
No hot dogs.
Never gets old.
3 hamburgers with sauce, 2 fries with sauce, and a large Mellow Yellow every day.
The kicker to that, Michael, to me, honestly, the kicker.
Mellow Yellow.
This is
86. Because he's not only shoving the meat and cheese down his gullet, and then the fries.
He's pretty much putting liquid fuel.
But then he takes unleaded Exxon gasoline. With probably.
It smells like gas.
Was that a large Mellow Yellow?
Yes.
Michael, realistically, 400 calories,
and
80
caffeine out of
sugars.
the.
Just counting. I mean, afterwards, did you just like rip your shirt off and attack people?
I was ripping something. It wasn't the shirt.
Wow. I don't know what he's even referring to. Is that a flatulence reference?
No. He's probably ripping bongs.
Oh, bong.
Yeah.
No, ripping
gas.
You know what?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. That was Don who said that.
That was my senior, and I was 18 in 1986.
Then the show went off the rails when they decided to talk about hamburgers and flatulence.
Write down who says what, Anthony.
Every line have a letter next to it, okay? Guys, Joel Embiid
lawyers will need that.
Joel Embiid dropped a 70 spot last night breaking Wilt Chamberlain's 76ers scoring record. He became the 9th player in NBA history to score 70 points. He also added 18 rebounds and 5 assists. Let's hear from Joel.
From the time I started playing, Kobe was my guy. He's the reason why I started playing basketball. And it's funny because on the same night he had 81, and that was my favorite player. So when I started, that was the guys that I was looking up to, and they were doing all this.
On the anniversary of Kobe's 81, not only does Joel drop a 70 spot, but Karl Anthony Towns dropped 62 in a losing effort.
And they sat him on the bench.
Yeah, it's not what you want.
His coach was not happy because all they cared about was him scoring points. Chris Finch.
Let's hear from Chris Finch.
It was an absolute disgusting performance of defense and immature basketball all the way through the game. So it really didn't slip away. It had been there from the jump. So this is what happens when you have this type of approach.
Chad Finch, I think, is the guy who writes the media column for the Globe.
I wouldn't know.
Good columnist.
But what a crazy night. I mean, I was in the middle of doing my podcast with Beetle, and my producer, who is from Philly,
Chad Finn,
pings me and says, Embiid has 28 in the first quarter. Now, at some point when you guys see that, we see that from time to time, you expect it to just slow down. I guess he did, because otherwise he would have scored over 100 points.
Did you see his reaction when they were interviewing him on camera? And they said, this is the most any 76ers ever scored. He goes, more than Will? Will scored 100 for the Philadelphia Warriors, not the 76ers.
That's right.
Didn't know that, did you?
So is that considered a Warrior record?
Yeah.
Wow. What'd you say there to me, Jacob?
Yeah, I was saying that was a Warriors save.
So it ends up being a Warrior record instead. That's fascinating, Mike.
Thank you.
You really do quality stuff on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Titans are almost with a head coach. Brian Callahan, according to Adam Schefter.
1 second. Beltre's in to the Hall of Fame.
Okay, Beltre's in the Hall of Fame.
Is in.
Oh, okay, wow.
And Joe Mauer. So Billy Wagner missed?
Boy, this is sexy.
They're still announcing. Okay.
I'm buying my tickets right now to go to the Hall of Fame.
Really? Have you ever been to Cooperstown?
No.
You should. It's really delightful.
I would love to go.
It's beautiful.
Who would I go for?
You know what? Go with Natalie. It's a beautiful weekend.
You don't have to go for the ceremony.
Don't go for the ceremony. That's
the
a bacchanal. Just go there and see the museum and walk around this beautiful town.
You know what? Done. Don't challenge me to have a good time.
No, I'm telling you. I went with my family, and we had a delightful time.
Beautiful museum?
Everything about the place. It's a beautiful town.
All of Cooperstown in general.
It's just like back in time. Idyllic is what I say.
Does it feel like Spring Valley or Hill Valley?
It doesn't have the theater.
You mean the church and the clock tower?
Yeah, but there was also a theater in the middle of the town.
There's no theater.
I don't think so.
Is there an Enchantment Under the Sea dance?
If I stayed there long enough, there might have been. But it's really wonderful, all kidding aside. I've been to the Football Hall of Fame. Hack-a-doodle-do.
Really?
Compared to the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Because he's not a football guy.
I know.
Can's fine. Well, all museums are overrated, including Cooperstown. But I do enjoy. But you talk it up and you'll go and you're like, it's nice. But the Hockey Hall of Fame, they're all nice.
But the town of Cooperstown.
The town of Cooperstown is very
much better than Canton.
That's what I'm saying. I think everyone agrees.
Canton, you stay in Cleveland, you think you make it's like a 30-minute ride or whatever.
I didn't like it. I wasn't that impressed. I like the busts. But the rest of the museum was
We always like the bus, don't we?
I was Peter.
Especially you guys.
When you went to Cleveland Town, was the river on fire?
It was not on fire.
Did you buy a house for the price of a VCR?
I did not.
Oh, boy.
But they do a nice ceremony, though. They moved it now to Fawcett Stadium, which is there. They used to do it right outside of the museum.
Billy Wagner missed by 5 votes. If I'm Billy Wagner, I'm going out and hunting writers and say, who didn't vote?
I want to know right now.
I want to know.
Punch you right in the face.
5 people. Imagine that. It's like the old Jerry Seinfeld bit. When you finish second in the Olympics, you're training your whole life. A blink and you're second.
And Mauer got in by 4.
Wow. So he lost a lot of votes other than the public ones.
Now, am I just a baseball,
yes,
whatever, hater, that I just consider this class to sound really drab? Is that me?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Is it a fair? Are you far off from
There's
agreeing?
no Jeter and
No, I agree.
Ariano and Griffey. But they're great players.
Really nice players.
Can I tell you one quick story?
You know what? We are so close to out of time. I just think we got.
my
I'm
daughter.
sorry, Michael.
Yeah, this is definitely my daughter. So she was at.
Yeah, Michael, we're gonna have to pick this up next week.
No, you have 2.
So there were 11 teams. It was called Battle of the Books.
Okay.
All right. So they all got up and they were questioned about books they had to read. So 5 kids on each team. Her team finished second.
Oh boy.
All right. And so I said to her, afterward, Callie, that's really good, finishing second. She goes, second is the first loser, Dad. There's nothing good about it.
Guess
Big
what?
Earnhardt fan.
And I said, that's my kid.
That is your kid.
That's my kid.
You weren't proud of that, though. You
No,
told her.
I don't like participation trophies.
Well, it's not a participant. How many? There's 11 teams. You could still say, I know you came up short, but you should still be very proud.
I did say that, but I want her to want to win.
I'm so impressed by you, Michael.
Thank you. Why?
That you've raised a child who is so yours.
Right. DNA had nothing to do with it.
You did good. You really did good.
Gary Sheffield fell short. 63.9%. Wasn't even close. Yeah, I got 75 to get in.
People think he's a whatchamacallit, right?
He also,
do people think he's a PD guy?
I mean, there's because he did the cream and trained with Barry Bonds, but he said he didn't even know what he was doing. He never tested. He never
Hell of a ball player.
An intentional error to get out of Milwaukee didn't help either, I'm sure. Right, Michael?
I don't know. That was so long ago. He was a kid.
They count everything in baseball.
So I didn't finish this up. Let me just say,
Do it.
So the Titans are close to this deal with Brian Callahan, the Bengals offensive coordinator. I don't know how I feel. I guess everyone is just looking for the next sexy young coordinator to make head coach.
Right.
Commanders will likely do the same thing with Ben Johnson. And
the Falcons won't.
No, they
for
won't.
a sexy old man.
And have you noticed that Kanye dressed more and more like Bill Belichick?
But he has those platinum teeth. Bill doesn't.
That's a great point. Yeah. And then again, let's be honest. When you see pictures these days of Kanye and his wife, are you paying attention to Kanye?
No, Sensori is special.
There's some, I said it today on Hot, and I'll say it again. I don't see eye to eye with Kanye on everything.
But Sensori.
But when I see the Sensori photos, we're talking about Bianca Sensori, his wife. Don,
I saw.
You know what we're talking about.
Yes.
You better read it.
That'll do it for ENN. It's brought to you by Security Dodge. I thought it was Sensory. I don't know.
Well, she affects the sensory.
Shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com during their Starting Something New.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next, a brand new edition of Yankees Hot Stove. For all of us here on the Michael K. Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
You done yet? It's 2 a.m. Why are you still scrolling through videos? You're not paying me overtime here. If you really want to see something new, why not change those shades that have been broken for the past 2 years? Let's tap the Thumbtack app, and in a matter of seconds, we'll find a pro to install new shades.
Okay.
With Thumbtack, you can easily find top-rated professionals for every home project.
Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
Switch to Square and take charge of your business and your time. Switch to fast setup and even faster checkouts. Switch to making every sale, every way you want, and every way they want too. Switch to one system connecting every tool to every task, even as your business grows. Switch to taking control and taking more free time, whatever that means to you. Make the switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
The next Powerball drawing is presented by Jackpocket. Jackpocket lets you order official state lottery tickets right on your phone. Just pick your numbers and place your ticket order. See a scan of your ticket right in the app. And get your winnings instantly. Go to jackpocket.com to get the app and get your first ticket free. Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app.
favorite babysitter is Annalisa. She's pretty good. She's like my grandma. She says, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" She plays with me. She helps you feel better. Bugs and insects are healthy for you. Amelia took us to the beach. She teaches me some gymnastics. We like color. We draw flowers, and then we go skateboarding.
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
Guys, let's be honest. Buying pants sucks. It should not be this difficult. I'm looking for that one pair of pants that does everything. These just came in. They're the only pant from Fabletics Men. 4-way stretch, done. All-way stretch, you're going to feel the difference. The best thing about the only pant, honestly, everything. You almost forget about the deal that you're getting. Same premium quality as Lululemon, but at a third of the price.
Hey. Rental? Yep. You? Yeah. You know your shoe's untied.
Oh. Don't let a boxy suit ruin your night. Rent from theblackducks.com.
Boost your streaming experience with live stats on the Yes app. Real-time features like player stats, game leaders, and play-by-play are available now on phones, tablets, and now on connected TVs. Live stats while you stream, now on the Yes app.
So a 2-2 tie. There's a high fly ball deep to right. Freezing, just freezing.
Bayer Aspirin, official sponsor of fans' hearts.
Power 4 gonna drop 30 tomorrow?
Why you tripping?
Did you see his mom made a post about going to the game?
What? Hold up. His mama gonna be there?
He's been averaging like 34 points a game when she's there.
At least 40 when she be on that Jumbotron.
He don't like to let his mama down.
Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Cash in on your sports fandom with Prize Picks.
It's all about putting in the work. I prepare the same way for the long haul. Tono gives you all those stats to be able to say, how can I continue to get better? And it starts to challenge you like, okay, you've done this, but now let's challenge you. Let's do this now. It's all about just training your mind, training your body, training your spirit to be as great as you can. Tono, be your strongest.
It's All-Star season in Brooklyn, and we got all the stars. And the stars are out. We got Ant-Man, we got Wemby, and we got KD.
Kevin Durant is smoking hot.
We got Embiid, Steph, and Tatum.
Jason Tatum is going off.
Yes, we got an all-star lineup. Nets versus Timberwolves, Thursday at 6:30 on Yes and the Yes app.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
It is great to have you with us on the latest edition of Yankees Hot Stove. Bob Lorenz, John Flaherty, Jack Curry with you. Our Hall of Fame edition, as 3 new members have just been announced to the Hall of Fame. Let's get right to it because we got a lot to talk about. Adrian Beltre was a first ballot Hall of Famer, getting 95.1% of the vote. Todd Helton actually leapfrogged in the late going over Joe Mauer. He comes in at 79.7%, and then Joe Mauer just above the 75% threshold. Let's take a look at the final vote breakdowns of those 3 gentlemen in, but you need 75%. Billy Wagner, in his 9th year on the ballot, did not get there. He came just 5 votes short. Gary Sheffield slipped off to 63.9%. In his final year on the ballot, he'll have to be voted in by committee. You see the rest. Andrew Jones, Carlos Beltran making gains, and we'll talk about the gainers in just a minute. Let's talk first about the guys that are in, starting with Beltran, near unanimous, 95%, but then a little surprised, too, that it was Helton Maurer.
Right. Congratulations to all three, Bob. I have a Hall of Fame vote, and I voted for all three of those players, and I think that we should accentuate how hard it is to get to this day as a Major League player. It's hard to ever be a Major League player. Then it's hard to become an All-Star or win a Cy Young or win an MVP, but you're talking about maybe 1% of the players who ever play Major League Baseball get to this day, get to call themselves Hall of Famers. I'm still waiting for the logic of not voting for Adrian Beltre. That's how great he was across the board on offense and defense. Helton waited, able to get the vote in his 6th year, and then Maurer in his 1st year on the ballot just sneaks over that 75% threshold to get the vote.
Yeah, obviously, congratulations to all three of them. Joe Maurer, to me, being a catcher who raked the way that he did. Nice to see him get in the first time. But for me, it's going to be Billy Wagner and Gary Sheffield, an old teammate of mine. I always felt like Gary Sheffield was a Hall of Famer when you played against him because of the offensive force that he was, the threat in the lineup, the intimidating bat. He doesn't get in after his 10th year on the ballot, so he's going to have to wait, like you said, Bob, for the committee. Billy Wagner probably set up to get in next year. But Todd Helton, for me, is the guy that I never felt like was a surefire Hall of Fame player when I was catching against him. 369 home runs for a first baseman in Coors Field. He had a lot of good numbers, and I guess the bias against Coors Field has gone away now that he ends up in the Hall of Fame.
Both he and Larry Walker, Hall of Famers who played a lot of games in Coors. Obviously, Helton played all of his home games there. I'll throw some numbers at you, Flash. Let's see if I can convince you. You mentioned the home runs, but over 2,500 hits and batting title, 3 Gold Gloves. 6 times he was mentioned on MVP ballots. But here's the number that I think should resonate. His OPS on the road was 855. Everyone wants to talk about the Coors numbers, and yes, they were high. That 855 OPS is better than Cal Ripken Jr. and Tony Gwynn's was during their career. So he was a better hitter on the road than they were throughout their career when you base it on OPS.
Yeah, you're starting to talk me into it. The 17 Major League seasons, I guess I always felt like catching against him, he was a doubles machine. He wasn't that one swing of the bat that you worried about, a big home run. So when I talk about Gary Sheffield not getting in, he always felt like an intimidating force that I always worried about. Todd Helton, just that steady producer day in and day out.
And I agree with you about Sheffield. And I think Sheffield was Mr. Exit Velocity before anyone even talked about exit velocity. You would see third basemen playing deep. You would see third base coaches. Nobody wanted to get in the way of a Gary Sheffield line drive. More than 500 home runs, more than 250 stolen bases. The hit total was there. The thing that dragged Sheffield down was his connection with Barry Bonds in the offseason once. They worked out together. Sheffield has acknowledged that he used the steroid cream called the Cream, and I think that dragged down his numbers because I'm with John on this one. He is a Hall of Fame player. He got my vote. He falls short with that 64%, so in the 10th year of eligibility, it doesn't work out for him.
By the way, if that situation with Bonds and with Balco resonated with enough voters to drag him down and keep him out, you wonder now if it goes to a committee, and let's say it's some ex-players and some ex-managers who, as you said, played against him and saw what a fearsome hitter he is, they'll look beyond that and say, look, that was one instance. He admitted it. Let's move on from that and look at the numbers now. Great a player.
Yeah, I would hope so, Bob, as an ex-teammate of Gary's. And, you know, that you could talk about what he did, and we're looking at some of the highlights, the intimidating bat and the violence of that swing. I'm going to talk about the teammate and how he was in the clubhouse. He was all about winning. He was all about playing every day, and he was all about taking on the responsibility of being the man in the lineup. And obviously, with those Yankee teams that he played for, he didn't have to be the man. There was a lot of great players around him, but he took on that responsibility every day. I feel bad he's going to have to wait now. I think you bring up a good point. The players who will be on that committee probably will look past that Clear and the Cream situation, and hopefully one day he will eventually get in.
He will be looking towards a Veterans Committee situation now. The one thing we have learned when you take a close look at these Veterans Committees, it's tough. A lot of people think, well, just go to the Veterans Committee, but we've seen with certain players and managers getting on that Veterans Committee. A lot of times it's only one candidate who's going to get in. Flash just did a great breakdown on Sheffield. The one stat, or two stats, that I wanted to point out, when you talk about that vicious swing, this is a guy who had almost 1,500 walks in his career and just shy of 1,200 strikeouts. So even with that vicious swing that he was lining up and doing damage, he was a guy who still was disciplined and had more walks than strikeouts. In this day and age, that's something to behold.
As for Joe Mauer, kind of a storybook who grew up in the Twin Cities area, plays his entire career with the Twins, and as you said, the numbers themselves could lend themselves to the Hall of Fame. Some came at first base, but a lot of those came when he was catching, which is the toughest position.
Yeah, I guess that was the biggest question mark for me, Bob. Would the numbers at the end of his career, DHing and playing first base, hurt him here with this first ballot? Obviously, it did not. He got the numbers. I played against Joe Mauer. I tried to get him out. It was a nightmare. He could hit the ball the other way. He could hit the ball the other way with power. When you tried to come in on him, he was quick enough that he could jump you into the seats. But what impressed me more about Joe was his overall game. You see the six-time All-Star. The 3 Gold Gloves for me is what really separates him. Behind the plate, he could do it all. He could receive, he could work a staff, he could block, and he could throw the baseball. For a big man who was 6'4", and you looked at his mechanics, he kept everything so tight with his throwing motion, and he posted every day behind the plate for some really good Minnesota Twin teams. So the question mark coming in, would the numbers hurt him at first base and DH? I guess not. What he did at the beginning of his career behind the plate was good enough to get him in the first ballot.
When I first was able to vote for the Hall of Fame, I had an older writer who said to me, in terms of his voting process, when I see a Hall of Famer, I know it. And that's what I would say about Joe Mauer. And I know that the numbers at the end of his career, when he was beset by concussion issues and moved to first base, and honestly didn't produce the way a first baseman should produce. He didn't have the power that you would want from that corner player. But if you saw him earlier in his career, as Flash just detailed, he was a catcher who won 3 batting titles. He had the 3 Gold Gloves. He had that short stroke where he was able to do some damage as a hitter. I'm glad he got over that 2,000 hit threshold, because that's been something that has prevented some players from getting the vote. He had over 2,100 hits, and he got over the 75% threshold by a handful of votes, so that was good enough.
And just under the handful of votes that he needed, we mentioned this, Billy Wagner, achingly close, just 5 votes away from enshrinement. Next year, Jack, is his 10th year on the ballot. That certainly helps some players. But again, you're talking about a guy who came oh so close and now has to wait at least another year.
So we're trying to put ourselves in Billy Wagner's shoes, or at least I am. Tonight is some heartbreak because you know how close you came, but I also think that you're feeling as if in year 10, you're going to get some more voters to tilt in your direction. The knock against Wagner is that he only pitched about 900 innings during his career. But if you look at the number of strikeouts per 9 innings, over 12, if you look at the fewest amount of base runners that he allowed, a whip of under 1, this is a guy who was dominant at his position. And I don't like to penalize closers and designated hitters. That was their position. That was their position in contributing to a team. So I've had no hesitation in voting for Wagner.
422 saves. He got it done during the regular season, Jack. I think the only other knock would be during the postseason. His numbers were not great. But with the vote total that he just got today, he looks like he's in really good shape going forward next year. That's not going to make him sleep any better tonight. But when you put up the numbers that he did during the regular season, all of those strikeout totals, the one knock on him really is the postseason. He didn't have good postseason numbers, but he's in great shape moving forward, as well as our buddy Carlos Beltran, who made a little bump this year as well.
I'm glad you brought that up, because Wagner right on the cusp. Beltran was up, Andrew Jones was up, and you, again, in this day and age of metrics and analytics, people are looking really deep into some of those numbers for a Beltran, a Jones, etc.
Right, you start to see where the voting is trending, and I would say that Andrew Jones and Carlos Beltran are both eventually going to be Hall of Famers. Does it happen next year for both of them? Is it a couple of years away? I would probably say it might be a couple of years away, but Andrew over 60%, and you're talking about the combination of defense and power. Some people call him the best defensive center fielder of all time. Plus, he gave you the defense. And Beltran should be in the Hall of Fame were it not for the sign-stealing scandal. We talked about this on one of our last shows. He's paying for his own sins and the sins of a lot of others, but Beltran's eventually going to be in Cooperstown.
So I was going to ask you two questions. The sign-stealing scandal, is that hurting him to this point? And who's going to be on the ballot next year that might take some votes away from those two guys trying to get in?
Well, you look flash at Beltran, 2,700 hits in his career, over 400 homers, an 837 OPS, 3 Gold Gloves. He was a postseason monster. If what happened in Houston had never happened, he's in the Hall of Fame. He would have been in already. He will eventually get in. I think it's unfortunate that Beltran, who lost the Mets managerial job after that scandal, is the one who was taking the biggest hit for all of this. Hinch and Cora were suspended, but it was during a pandemic year. They didn't get to manage 60 games. Whoop-de-doo. They came back to manage. The players all got immunity. It feels to me like Beltran is getting the short end of the stick, so to speak. And question 2, which guys are on the ballot next year? Ichiro walks into the Hall of Fame. He is a first ballot guy. I absolutely believe that CeCe is a first ballot guy. Now, the other 2 players on that graphic, they're interesting to me. They're both had Hall of Fame caliber careers. I think Pedroia is going to fall a little short, about 1,800 career hits. Injuries ended up hurting him. I think Felix Hernandez has a really interesting case, won about 170 games during his career, had some dominant runs. I just wonder if it was a dominant enough, if he did enough statistically to get the votes.
What do you think? Who do you think is a first ballot? I mean, Ichiro, right?
Ichiro.
Well, you said he's going to walk in. He'll stretch first, but then he'll walk in.
CeCe, you feel great about his chances getting in on the first ballot. And, you know, obviously Dustin Pedroia was a beast when he was healthy. His career just got cut short by those knee injuries, so he's probably going to have some issues. I would pull for him being number 15 in a Boston Red Sox uniform. I wore that before him and got it nice and warm, ready for a Hall of Fame career. He just didn't last long enough, but he's got a good case.
Yeah, Ichiro is going to be fun because I'm sure he will have a great speech when he eventually gets inducted, because he always has something very clever and very interesting to say. And CeCe Sabathia, who has a very large and very loyal family, both the Sabathia family and the Yankee fan family. Get ready to celebrate, because he is going to Cooperstown too, and he absolutely earned it with the career that he had. And John talked about being in the clubhouse with a guy like Sheffield. I'm not sure that I've ever heard not only teammates, but the personnel who work around the clubhouse speak as adoringly as they did for CeCe Sabathia.
And I'm not sure I've ever heard something resonate more than, because I just read it in a couple articles about the 2025 class, about a guy who went from the Indians to the Brewers, took the ball every 3 days. His agent is like, hey, you might not want to do that. You're a free agent. That one moment in time, and people still remember it.
Well, they're always going to remember it, because he threw his career on the line to get them to the postseason. And then we remember what Brian Cashman said: we need you to come to our team to change the culture, to change the clubhouse. And not only did he produce out on the field, he got it done in the clubhouse, won a World Series with the Yankees. Great resume moving forward.
All right, guys, we got to take our first break. Anthony Volpe already has a Gold Glove on his career resume, but after the break, we'll check in on the Yankees shortstop and the work he's doing to improve in the batter's box. Stay with us. We are just getting started here on Yankees Hot Stove.
Listen, we get that ordering a suit online can seem a little risky. That's why we have a home try-on program. Go to thebblacktux.com/try. With so many good options, it might be hard to choose. We'll ship your selection to you to try out for 48 hours on us. When it arrives, put it on and make sure every detail's perfect. Once your 2 days are up, pack it back in the box, attach the free shipping label, and send it back to us. And when you're ready to rent for real, just head back to the Black Tux and make your order official.
I won the lottery with Jack Pocket.
Press the button to order lottery tickets. It's that easy.
You know, that really happened. I was in the bathtub and I was like, oh my God, I got to put my numbers in. And I grabbed my phone. And
my phone started exploding with texts and emails from Jack Pocket telling me I won big. I still can't believe I'm a lottery winner.
How did I celebrate? I kind of did a little happy dance out to the living room.
Go to jackpocket.com to get the app and get your first ticket free.
See everything your restaurant can do with tools from Square. Get a POS that connects to a KDS so you can handle orders ASAP. Reach more customers with online ordering and QR codes. Use pocket-sized hardware so you can turn tables faster. And get one account for everything so you can take care of it all and take it easy, too. Get your all-in-one restaurant system and sign up at square.com today.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for Butcher.
This time last year, Anthony Volpe was a top prospect, hoping to make a name for himself in spring training. He accomplished more than that by securing the starting shortstop spot. For his sophomore season, Volpe will be tasked with ironing out some inconsistencies at the plate, and he is already hard at work on that.
Even when you weren't getting the results on the field, I felt like I was doing the right things. I felt like I knew that I had a really good support system, and we were working on the right things. That obviously it was frustrating that you weren't getting the results, but I felt like if I kept putting in the work, kept trusting it, that everything was going to come, and if anything, I was going to learn what works and what doesn't. And looking back, I mean, it was frustrating in the time, but I think now, being able to look back, I'm definitely grateful to be able to go through that.
Gold Glove recipient, the first Yankees rookie to win a Gold Glove. In fact, the second shortstop after his idol, Derek Jeter.
Yeah, it was crazy when I got the call and when I got to tell my family, and then you go through all the people that have won it and all the history of the Gold Glove, and when we went to the ceremony and the event, all the people you got to meet, and it's an individual award, but I got to celebrate it, and it was such, to me, a team award, and then a staff and organizational award, because so many people went into me being able to even be considered in the conversation to win a Gold Glove, and I just think that I couldn't thank those people enough for all the work they've helped me and development they've helped me to be able to, like I said, even be in the conversation. I definitely learned a lot about my body and how I reacted to different situations last season. So my number one goal for this offseason was put myself in the best position to play 162 games.
Obviously last year he played a lot of games, and we want to make sure with the training that's what we're kind of pushing him towards, is not making him sure he's not just getting bigger or stronger all the time. Sometimes it's just making him more durable and making his body more, just creating some longevity in there and making sure that he's able to just get out there every day and play.
Everything we're doing, everything has a time, everything has a place, and to treat this time of year as kind of when you're ramping up the baseball activity, and you're obviously still pushing in the weight room, but know when to push and pull, I think, is definitely really important. During the season, you're going to go through all the ups and the downs, so kind of in this setting where there's not a game every single night, and everyone's still kind of working on stuff and trying to fine-tune everything, to be able to just have that open communication between the guys of hey, when I'm feeling good, this is what I'm working on, or this is why I'm doing this, and so that during the season, when you kind of get a little bit off, it's not just, obviously we're all watching our own videos every single night or trying to make sure we're on top of our stuff, but to have that little time, we're in the cage, it's August, and Judge is watching me hit or something, he's like, hey, remember in January when we were in Tampa, you were doing this, maybe let's get back to that. So I think just having that time, like I said, where it's a little less stress, a little less go, and we have the time to kind of step back and just talk through all our stuff, and I think it's going to definitely pay dividends during the season. To be on the field every single day and then to be around guys that push you, I think that's the best thing. And I think when you're home and isolated, there's only so much time you could have just being you and just training alone. So I think to have that and have that camaraderie and be able to push each other to get into spring, I think only helps. To have teammates and just guys, every guy in the locker room pushing each other, and everyone's priorities are straight and no one's kind of taking energy or pulling everyone down. So I think that fosters a really good culture. And I think when you have that and you have really talented players, then people are going to get better. People are going to push themselves. And when you have environments like this where you look to your left and look to your right and judge you, and I mean, this was me last year. We were all training and we'd see all the guys come and working just as hard, if not harder than anyone else. So